Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO.
3DO.
Gotta go fast. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the 3DO podcast. The only show where the 3DO guys go, can we play something else, please? Can we play some non-3DO shit? So here we are. It is me, Thrak, and you, Bill. Bill, how are you?
I'm good. I just took like a 5-hour midday nap because I woke up at like 5 today because my leg woke me up in the middle of the night. So, I'm doing great.
That's great. So, and I'm doing fantastic because today, as you could tell, we are covering Sonic. We are covering Sonic's Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. But we couldn't do it alone. You do the math, 2 + 1 = 3. So we need a fucking third person here. And Bill, we found the perfect third guest for it, okay? She is the Etsy shop having, long Furby making, rat game playing, pit cross loving, awooga-ing, dehydrated, making their podcast debut. It's Super Jelly.
It is. Thank you for that. That sums me up so well. I really am a dehydrated queen. Before
we get started, Jelly, since this is your debut to this fancy world that me and Bill live in, why don't you introduce yourself to all the listeners?
What can I say that you just covered everything? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I love Sonic. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm an Etsy boy. I also stream. I'm just chronically online. I'm really good at video games, but know almost nothing about them. Like, I don't absorb knowledge. I just brute force the time, and it kind of works. And fun Sonic anecdote. The very first time that Sonic was advertised before the first game came out was on my birthday.
Oh, nice.
Destined to be.
It was a match made in heaven.
While we're waiting, I'd just like to point out that you can now get the Sega Mega Drive, Master System, or Game Gear with Sonic included.
So, as said, we are covering Sonic's Adventure 1 and 2. We could have easily made 2 episodes out of these, but because they're kind of interlocked together, that it just made sense to cover them both. Because really, if we were going to cover one, we were just going to compare it to the other one the whole
Yeah,
fucking
it's
time.
really hard talking about one without the other.
Exactly. I mean, we didn't bring in Sonic Adventure 3, but no, we don't need to talk about that, okay?
No.
That's an episode for a later day.
We'll bring in somebody to torture. I mean, play that game with, so.
What's funny is like this is literally like the Sega variation of like the Super Mario World Mario Brothers 3 debate, like because I think both of these games are great, but they have like such distinct differences, and there's like definitely like separate camps of like people who much prefer 1 and much prefer 2. So I find it's very interesting to talk about both of them at the same time.
Yeah, they are interesting, and they're also pivotal points in the Sonic canon. Because prior to this, we had that incredible run on the Genesis that established everything, right? And then the Sega Saturn comes out, and then Sega just does a big shrug and almost fucking dies. There's that infamous story with the original game Sonic Extreme. That is, you can look that up because that is a long story. But basically, the Saturn got a enhanced remake of 3D Blast, which I think is the best way to play that game. Sonic R, a game that lives and breathes on its soundtrack. We don't talk about the rest of it. And then Sonic Jam, which is a really nice compilation.
Sonic Jam.
Sonic Jam, a port job of the original games with the proto-adventure Sonic World thing in it. So the Saturn, Sonic was not really in his highest point in that time. So really they had to get it right. And they put a lot of effort into the original Sonic Adventure. A game that came out originally December the 23rd, 1998, which I believe was the Japanese. Was that the date the Dreamcast came out in Japan?
I believe
that sounds
so.
right in my head.
Because in
'cause
America it was famously $99.99.
yeah, it was not. It was $99.99. The Dreamcast
Oh.
launch, which Sega was riding on this one real hard, man. They had
Oh, and
like
you guys
almost
have the orange Dreamcast too, don't you? Because we had a
We
blue
did.
one.
yes, yes. I
Yeah,
would show
I
you,
didn't
but my
know that
Dreamcast is
until
plugged in.
literally like a year
Oh.
ago. I did not know that for so long.
What's-
Yeah.
Like it being blue makes more sense because of like the Sega stuff, but
Yeah, I see what it
like,
did.
but the blue they chose was like a weird, like pastelly, paley kind of blue. That's like
Yeah.
not Sega blue at all.
It wasn't like a royal blue.
No,
Mm.
it was
It's
very
so-
strange.
It's so weird. You have the original print. I've got the Sega All Stars print, which used the
Yeah.
later spine art style, but it's like the same case otherwise.
Sorry, Jelly's European, so I need to do the European dates as well. The Dreamcast came out October 14th, 1999
Uh-huh.
in the European with Sonic Adventure. So Jelly, did you have a Dreamcast on launch day?
I did not have one on launch day. I stole my brother's. And I'd do
But
it
you-
again.
But was this something you were like hyped for at the time? I assumed you were a Sonic fan prior to.
Yeah,
Adventure
I was
coming
a Sonic fan. I'd grown up playing on the Mega Drive.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Mega
American
Drive's
word,
fine. It's
Mega
fine.
Mega Drive's fine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I grew up playing it on that, and then I had no idea that 3D Sonic was even going to be a thing. And I was never good at like keeping up with consoles. I kind of just like had to save up for them, so I didn't keep up with releases and stuff. And yeah, I went to my brother's house, and he had one with Sonic, and it blew my little mind. So I just took it, and they didn't notice. So I was like,
He's more of
"This
a
is
Sony guy.
crazy." Yeah, I don't think they were much. They're like the opposite. They were like that part of the family were like not gamers, but they just had all the latest stuff, you know. So they just had it for the sake of it. So they didn't even
Yeah.
notice when I took it.
Oh yeah, I've met so many
Yeah.
people who like had consoles for the sake of it. It was mainly, I think, in the Wii era was the era where like you'd go over to somebody's house and they just had one with like maybe like Wii Sports and like Carnival games or some shit, and then that was really
Yeah.
it. I was like, you don't
PS2
have
as
like,
well.
and I'm like, you don't have like Mad World, and they're like, what's that? I'm like, I'm not gonna explain it to you.
See,
Yeah, it was like that. So
Mhm.
You'd
I said
have
I
that-
should do it again.
you'd have that with PS2 as well, because there was a very
Mm.
large amount of people who had PS2s just specifically because they were DVD players.
Yeah, I think
Oh
I knew somebody.
yeah.
I think I knew somebody who had like 2 games for the PS2, and they would just watch movies on it all the time.
I think like everybody had a PS2 at one point, and it was just
Oh,
the family DVD player, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because it was a terrible DVD player.
Bill, when did you get your Dreamcast?
So the Dreamcast and me are kind of the Dreamcast. I kind of have a very it's an important part of my gaming history. So shout out to our friend Danny. She had on her podcast. She had actually talked about my vlog I had done talking about how the Dreamcast kind of was my my gateway into my game collecting insanity that I'm currently in right now. Because I was a Sony boy growing up, so I did not get to play Sonic. I completely missed Sonic. Like the most I knew about Sonic was when I was in a after school like daycare. They had a copy of the Sonic and Knuckles collection on PC. If anyone remembers that,
Aw.
and
Those horrible MIDI tracks, yeah.
yeah, I kind of watched people play it because you had to get there first, or else you were never going to get to use the computer. So it was kind of one of those things where I just kind of stand off in the corner. Sony famously, the first Sonic game they got was Sonic Heroes, and it's the worst version of Sonic Heroes. So
Yeah.
my impression of Sonic was not amazing to start. And then to top it off, the first Sonic game I ever owned was Sonic 06.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
So-
didn't you buy that with your PS3?
It was one of
right?
I got it for the year I got my PS3 for Christmas. I had 3 games. I had the Pac-In Motorstorm, Lego Star Wars, and Sonic 06. I played a lot
One
of
of
Lego
these
Star
things
Wars.
is not like the other.
Ironically, like the best of the bunch was Motorstorm, but I was terrible at racing games at the time, so I didn't play
Yeah.
much of it.
Lego Star Wars is pretty good.
It is. That's like
Yeah.
the best, probably the best version of Lego Star Wars, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Circa 2009 is when I kind of discovered retro gaming and like YouTube videos and stuff. And I was a big Classic Game Room fan, and I saw his video on the Dreamcast. And I kind of got obsessed with it at that point. So I found on Amazon, I discovered Amazon for the first time, and I discovered you could get a brand new, like new old stock Sega Dreamcast for like $20. So I was like, my birthday was coming, and I asked my mom, and she was like, $20? Yeah, that's fine. So I got the
Oh.
Dreamcast, an extra controller, a VMU, and these guys right here. And yeah, that was my first true Sonic experience. And I kind of went through a Sonic binge after that. Like I acquired a Genesis with all the classics after that, played the good version of Heroes, played Shadow, experienced Shadow, I should say. Finally finally beat 06 Unleashed. And then by then Colors was coming out, and that was the first good Sonic game I played at launch. And
Unleashed isn't bad.
Unleashed wasn't bad, but it was already out by the time I got into it, because this was 09
Yeah.
when I got my Dreamcast. So Unleashed
Oh
had already
yeah,
been
so
around.
yeah. Once the Sonic bug bites you, it never lets go.
I 100%ed Adventure 1, I remember, because I was like obsessed with it. I did not 100% Adventure 2 because we'll get into
Fuck
it.
that.
we'll get into that later. But yeah,
Yeah.
I played the heck out of them. I didn't even realize they were on GameCube like at the time. Like this is how like this was during my discovery and my discovery phase of gaming, where I was like learning all this shit.
Yeah.
And for a long time, like I was just amazed, like we had 3D Sonic on this weird system that no one seemed to know anything about back in the day.
Yeah. And then you go online and everyone's just glazing the hell out of it, you know?
Yeah, it's we have to bring that up too. Like this is like the last era of Sonic where I think Sonic was like generally liked by everybody.
Yes, his reputation hadn't completely died yet. But I mean, you could make the argument that Sonic 06 was such a train wreck that he'll never recover from it. Even though I think, in my opinion, I think he has. Like the Sonic games are so much better now, and it's like I think the quality control at Sega has gotten a lot better to where they're not going to let something like that happen again. But
to be fair, I think he's recovered twice now, because I think Colors and Generations were his first recovery. And then the Boom disaster happened, and then he's recovered again since then. But
at least with Boom, you can make the argument that it was just kind of like a side thing, that it like wasn't meant to replace anything. It was just this weird thing, you know. And Sega didn't even make that game, so
they didn't.
No, I think it was Panic Button, right?
Big Red Button.
Big Red Button. I always get them mixed up. Panic Button's like a port studio.
Yeah, Big Red Button was founded by the art director for Naughty Dog back in the day.
Oh.
You can tell by playing Boom that you're like, oh yeah, I see it now.
It has like a Jack and Daxter flair to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
but not in a good way.
It's like we have Jack and Daxter at home.
So my history with Sonic is, I think Sonic was like the first video game I ever properly played, because growing up we had a Sega Genesis and a NES in the house, and I used to sit there and watch my older siblings play it when I was too young. There's photographic evidence of it, and then I must have been like 4 or 5, maybe 6. I pulled out the Genesis. We had a drawer, and when you opened the drawer, it was lined like wall to wall with like cased Genesis games. There's like a good like 24 in there or something, and we had a bunch of others, like a mixture of like sports games, some racing games, Boogerman, Jungle Book, Jurassic Park, Mortal Kombat, the classics, and then Sonic's 1, 2, 3, and Spinball. So the first one I think I played was Sonic 2, and that's why I'm here right now, is because I played that at such a young age. So that was really like my first gaming love, was playing Sonic all the time. And then cut to a couple years later, my parents were like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, oh, could I get the new Sega console? This is like 2002, 2003. And I guess they didn't have the heart to tell me that, you know, the Dreamcast was like dead or whatever. I forget the entire thing, but they kind of steered me towards, oh, do you just want the GameCube? And I was like, yeah, sure, because I like the Genesis more than the NES, but, you know, Dreamcast was dead at that point, so I'll take a GameCube. And then I got one, and I used to go to those demo kiosks all the time. You remember them, Bill, the ones where you have to crank your neck like 90 degrees to see a fucking CRT. Like, yes. So Jelly, do you ever have those?
We had the demo kiosks, but what's with the craning?
So what it was they would have this giant glass case with
Uh-huh.
like all the games that you had to get somebody to open the
Yeah,
thing.
we had that so far. Okay.
Yeah, and then the controller would be like down here, and then at the
Mm.
very top, like because it was very vertical, they would have a big CRT right up there with like say the GameCube sampler discs, and you had to like
Oh.
crank your neck to look at them. Why? I don't know.
It was
Okay, we had
such.
that, but like a reasonable height.
I've seen some that were at reasonable heights, like at like Kmart,
Uh-huh.
but if you went to like Walmart,
Walmart was
no.
the biggest like factor. My favorite part too was like they'd have a console set up for each console at the time. So
Yep.
during that era, it was PS2,
There's
GameCube,
PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Some would have a GBA
Yep.
there. They would just take like an old one with like with the bad screen and everything, and you try your best to look at it.
That's fun.
I
It's
always
awful.
remember too, those controllers were always destroyed because people would just
They were mangled pieces of shit. Yeah,
I had one where like the analog sticks were just gone. I was like, well, that's unfortunate.
I remember one. I think it was like the Xbox. They had like a Duke, and I think it was like the right analog stick. It looked like a kid took a bite out of it. It was ridiculous.
You're like, that kid was me.
They just
The
really like
best-
grabbed by the ghoulies. But that GameCube demo kiosk was the first time I ever saw 3D Sonic. It was this boy, because while he wasn't a launch title for the GameCube, he came fairly quickly after, I would say.
Mm.
And playing that the first level of this, which we'll get to, as a kid, you're like, holy shit, dude, this is the coolest thing ever, right? It didn't dawn on me that it was Adventure 2, right? Because as a kid, you don't really think about that stuff.
You
But
just
later we
missed
got
the two right
exactly.
there. Yeah.
This is the first game I played was Sonic 2, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Sonic 1, right? Sonic 1's fine. Then cut to many years later when I learned about the Dreamcast and go, oh, I should buy that because that thing looks cool. And then I bought one, and I made sure to grab this guy and played a lot of it back in around the same time, late 2000s, early 2010s. And I'll talk about my memories when we get there. But then, like an idiot, I either sold that Dreamcast, gave it away, or it's lost in the garage somewhere. I honestly don't know what happened to that thing, because I remember I was trying to sell it and nobody would take it. Yeah,
Maybe
so
one of your siblings stole it.
I doubt it. That'd be amazing though.
Do you think if I? Do you think if I
My
built-
sister really likes Space Channel 5.
Oh hell!
Could you imagine? No, not really, but could you imagine?
Do you think if I fill this out, I can still win the arcade cabinet?
I think it's worth a shot.
Is it just Sega of America?
It's the Dreamcast product registration code. Get your chance to win an emergency call ambulance arcade machine. What the hell is that?
So, but yeah, so eventually I rebought a Dreamcast because I was like, it's stupid, I don't have one. And then, bought this and played through it and beat it for the first time in like 20 years, maybe. Like both of these games, I played and beat them for the first time in a very, very long time. So
Wow.
they felt fresh. So why don't we get on to the first Sonic adventure, shall we? As I said, released late 1998 or late 1999, depending on where you're from. It is the grand proper debut of Sonic into 3D, right? After the debacle with Sonic Extreme, we are here now. Mario 64 has happened. So what is Sonic going to do to counteract this new era of 3D that was created by his chief rival, Mario? And the answer is
We're going on an adventure.
kind of doing the same thing, but it's fast. Like, I couldn't shake throughout my whole experience with this game how Mario 64 this game is. Like, genuinely. From the open hub worlds, revisiting levels multiple times to get the emblems, to just the way the game is set up feels very Mario. Like, in a way, this game I would say is safe. It doesn't take a lot of chances. And what I mean by that is they were seeing what was going on with 3D platformers in this era, right? And we're like, we kind of let's just stick to that, but make it edgy Sonic, right? And I think it works for the most part. It is the debut of the modern Sonic that we know, the green eyes. He took Ozempic, so he's a lot skinnier now.
He's still a little chunky in this game, though.
He grew his a little bit, and he grew his hair out. This is basically like, you remember when Weird Al changed his appearance in the late 90s? Got rid of the glasses, grew out his hair, and all that. This is Sonic's like running with scissors, okay? And yeah, for 1999, I think it works. By today's standards, but I think he could do. I think he could do a lot worse.
I'm not gonna lie, I prefer modern Sonic's design over classic, but that might just because that's kind of what I got into first.
I like them both. I think Generations did a good job of cementing both of them as like it's okay to have both. You know.
I don't like 3D classic Sonic. I'm like, stay in your lane. What are you doing here? He's great in 2D, but then he shows up as a little 3D model. I'm like, get out of here, you little runt. What are you doing?
So
He's like the little brother who's like, can I play?
Yeah, it's like, no.
So I actually wanted to ask this because this gets into comic lore a little bit. Jelly, for the Fleetway comic, did they explain how he went modern? Or did he just not go modern in Fleetway? I don't remember.
He just kind of Fleetway Sonic was always like kind of edgy anyway.
Okay.
So they didn't really have to change much. It's definitely in terms of writing, he stayed the same, and they had like so many different artists that his design didn't really need to change anyway because he was already like so varied. So maybe his legs got longer. I need to check, but
that's
I mean, modern Sonic is taller.
That's much better than the absolute what the hell convoluted unnecessary shit that Archie did.
What did they do to Archie?
They throw him in like a chamber and he just morphed in.
There's a whole plot where like he absorbs chaos energy and that's why his eyes are green. There's actually a plot point where they kill like the original Robotnik, but then another Robotnik from a different dimension shows up, and that's the modern Eggman, and it goes through this whole thing where he changes bodies, and the one he ends up with is modern Eggman design. It is insanity.
No, they just started drawing him with green eyes and didn't make a big deal out of it.
I mean, to be fair, that's what the games do. They're just like, this is Sonic now. Just deal with it. And everyone's just like, okay.
Archie was insanity. And I love Archie because Archie is the most unhinged Sonic thing ever. But like, I've always wondered that. I'm like, was Fleetway normal about it? And
Fleetway is like so normal. Whenever it gets dunked on, I'm like, it's so like not unhinged. Which, if that's what you want, then great. Archie's the way to go. But yeah, Fleetway like is the straight man and does a good job.
It might have been because people got so used to the Archie craziness that seeing like Fleetway be just kind of chill, they're like, "What's this bullshit? Get it out of here!" You know,
chill, but
just being desensitized.
Even though Fleetway gave us the sociopath and Supersonic.
Oh, I love Supersonic and Fleetway so much. I wish they implemented that in the game somehow, like just once. I would love it.
They could. You never know.
They actually put him in Archie as a little Easter egg. Like Sonic's like going
Supersonic.
Yeah, Sonic's like traveling through space. He encounters an evil version of himself that's just randomly up there at one point, and it was clearly a reference. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, Archie.
I like that.
That is cute. Anyways, back to Sonic Adventure. Yeah, as I said, it to me it feels a bit like, you know, like kind of a safe game, but I think that was because, you know, the Dreamcast was coming out, Sega was kind of on the defensive, right? So they needed to like hit hard, right? With a really good Dreamcast launch, with a really good lineup of games, and Sonic being right there. And I think Sega did it right. Like the Dreamcast launch was incredibly successful. They had trouble keeping them in stock. A lot of the games sold really well. There was incredible stuff on there, like all the Sega sports games that like basically stomped EA into the ground so much that EA had to buy their way out of competition. And then there was a bunch of others. I don't have the entire list with me right now, but Sonic Adventure was obviously the standout. And at the time, people were like, fuck yeah, you guys nailed it, right? It's only been later on nowadays where people tend to look on it a little bit more disfavorably. But again, I think in a post 06 Sonic world, I take any Sonic criticism with a grain of salt.
True.
It could just be my fanboyism, but when certain people, or when people say certain things about Sonic, it triggers my brain a little bit to where I'm like, it's like the criticism isn't in good faith. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of bad faith Sonic criticism out there that always rubs me the wrong way.
Agree.
Yes, there are things to complain about with both games, which we will get to, but
I'll say it like right off the bat. Yes, this game is a glitchy mess. It's held together by
It's not that bad.
It has its problems. I love it for what it is, but like there is points where I'm like, Oh yeah, this game was definitely held together by duct tape at points, and I kind of
Oh yeah, like famously, the Japanese Dreamcast version does not run very well.
no.
It kind of runs like shit, but it was the craziest thing when I found this out maybe a year plus ago. But like Japan does not give a shit about Sonic. Sonic is a Western thing.
Mhm.
Japan's like whatever, right? Which kind of blows my mind, but it also kind of explains some of the tumultuous history the franchise has had, I think. So for the American version, they really cleaned it up. They got the frame rate outside of the question mark category. It's a little bit more stable. And I think most people would say that the Western Dreamcast version is like the definitive version to play on consoles. There is the Steam version. I can't remember if is it based on DX or not.
So
Yes, Steam version is.
Okay.
the problem with Adventure, I'll get because we'll talk about DX a little at the end.
Yeah.
Is this game has the modern version of Sonic Adventure that you can get on. Actually, I don't even know if you can still get it on Steam anymore. But
I think you can. Yeah.
I'll have to double.
I don't
check
think.
that.
I know Sega delisted a bunch of stuff. I don't know if Sonic Adventure was one of them. Let me check.
But what I was saying was like the most recent version of Adventure is literally a port of a port of a port of a port to the point where every time it gets ported, they somehow break it more.
Yeah.
I
Like,
see how far they can go with it.
Yeah.
Like-
but Sonic Adventure DX is still on Steam
okay, good to know.
Yeah.
for the low price of $7.99.
That's
With
fair.
every penny.
But just going from this to this, you can already see the problems start.
Yeah, that was the version I played the most when I was younger. Was the GameCube version, and oof, like when I moved over to the Dreamcast version, I was like, this feels better, feels more right. I mean, also kind of symbolically because it's a Sega game on a Sega console, but also it's like it just feels better,
Like my favorite is still in that opening cutscene with Eggman on the top of the building. In DX, the railing's just gone. But in the Dreamcast,
Who needs this railing? Get out of
The
here.
railing's gonna like, Eggman, don't do it.
Also, Eggman's model in this
Do
game is one of the most horrifying things ever because he doesn't have a mouth. He just gyrates back and forth.
Like some people when they have like thick facial hair and they talk, you're like, is their mouth moving? I can't even tell.
He's just
But
got like
also-
Karma grin below the mustache. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
unsettling.
But also, I think this game was the canonization of the whole Eggman Robotnik thing with the names. Whereas in Japan, he was Dr. Eggman because he was egg-shaped. In the West, he was Dr. Robotnik because I think they wanted the name to be more, I don't know, Eastern European, to be spooky or whatever, right? So when it came to Adventure, they were like, okay, how do we settle this? So his official name is Dr. Ivo Robotnik, but Eggman is a nickname.
Which at
And
first
so-
is an
and so-
insult, and then he later
Yes,
just kind of
and then he just kind of takes it, yeah, because Sonic Adventure, it tries to show that because when Sonic first sees Eggman, he goes, "Look, it's a giant talking egg. Silence."
Look, it's a giant talking egg.
Silence! I am Dr. Robotnik, the greatest scientific genius in the world!
Whatever you say, Eggman.
Enough!
Yeah, and that's when it's like he's trying to establish that Eggman is a derogatory nickname, so that's how they kind of compensate for both of them. And so you can call him whatever you want.
Yes.
Good
So-
for him for reclaiming the slur.
Yeah, he can't lose the weight, so he just has to accept being Eggman. Well,
Except
he
in-
did.
except
Well,
in
he lost weight once, and everyone's like, no.
He lost weight and then decided to replace his belt, his like jacket buttons with these giant nipples, and everyone was like, "What are you doing, sir?"
Oh, so bad.
Speaking of voices, though, this was also the first Sonic game to be fully voiced.
Yes.
And this is a debate that Sonic fans have had for years: is the voice acting.
Oh God.
But this game's voice cast is pretty iconic. We had Ryan Drummond as Sonic, Corey Bringis as Tails, Michael McGarharn as Knuckles the Echidna, Jennifer Douliard as Amy Rose, Duke Nukem himself as Big the Cat, John St. John, Steve Brody as Gamma, Dean Bristow as Eggman,
Great.
and a bunch of other people that don't really matter.
Yeah, who cares? So yeah, so what do we think about the voice cast here?
It's not good acting by any means.
No.
But I kind of like the charm of it. Like, arguably Ryan Drummond might be the worst Sonic VA. Put your torches down. We'll finish. In terms of just acting wise, it's very goofy. Like his first line in the game is literally he jumps on a building. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is happening. I'm from the '90s."
He does sound like a little surfer boy, right?
Oh yeah, this is happening. Huh? What's up? Oh yeah, this could be fun. Come on, you big drip.
Yeah, I think it's because at that time they didn't really have a clear idea of what they wanted Sonic to be. We'd had the shows, there was like that OVA, but like we didn't have like this is Sonic, right?
Yeah, the very first iteration is never going to be perfect.
I should specify. I don't.
They can't all be Charles Martinet.
I should probably specify. I don't think it's exactly the actors themselves that are the problem. It's the direction. Sega's direction up until Unleashed maybe was horrendous. Like
it gets better in the Boost era. The voice acting gets better.
Like gonna deliver a line like "Oh no," like on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Like you get to say like Frontiers, and it's like, oh, everything's like really well done here. But also famously, I think Japanese directors trying to direct, say, like American voice actors, it just never works because they perceive acting and what things should be right in different ways. Yeah. So I feel like they were directing American actors as Japanese actors. It's the same problem Metroid Other M has.
This was still in the era where they were, for Tails in particular, they were hiring young children to voice him. So for the most part, most of the actors were carried over into 2, except for Knuckles was replaced by Scott Dreer for 2.
Yes.
And Corey Bringus, his voice had broken by the time 2 had come out. And
he's on the verge the entire game.
Yeah.
You can he's teetering. You know?
This shit's cool.
The best part is in Adventure 2, they replaced him with his brother, Connor Bringus, who is a
family
significantly worse actor. Because you'll look at Tails.
And
Tails
in
2 are so much worse.
And he has a lot more to say in 2 than he does 1 as well. So it's like, oh boy.
Sonic! Ah! Yahoo!
They hired some other kid, and then after that, they just decided just get women to voice Tails. It'll be easier that way.
I do much prefer the 1 and 2 voices to Heroes, though, because in Heroes he gets so high pitched. I'm like, it's annoying. It's so
What's really,
especially if you tap the button. Wait.
So
you're gonna pay for this.
Just a little off topic. Heroes, I believe the kid in Heroes, his parents
is a serial killer.
I have no idea.
Sorry.
I believe his parents were actually the voices of Espio and Charmy.
Wait, Espio and Charmy are Tails' mom and dad?
I believe.
I don't know what to think about that. I don't know.
Cute.
I believe his parents were also VAs, and they voiced Espio and Charmy, or maybe it was
horrible.
Fucking nepotism, man.
His dad was either Vector or Espio. I think it was Espio, though.
I would prefer Vector. Vector Fox. Espio is asexual. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, but I don't Vector fuck Charmy.
I'm tired. Oh.
Missed.
Whoa!
Let
me go!
Ready anytime. Do or die.
Got it! Let's do it! Yeah!
Charmy's just weird.
Bee, bee, bee! Charmy the bee!
Charmy is a prince in Fleetway.
So he was in in Adventure. He was too until Sega of America was like, no, he needs to be like his game counterpart. So then they gave him brain damage.
Gotcha.
That's a legitimate character arc that happens, and it is one of the most.
He has a dent in his skull.
No, he gets like trapped in one of Eggman's like egg grape things, and like gets like the machine explodes. And he straight up has brain damage the rest of the series. It is
poor Charlie.
Ian Flynn has said in interviews he regrets doing that because it is like one of the sloppiest things he's ever written.
That's like even less ethical to make him give birth.
Yeah.
And this guy's writing the Sonic games now.
To be fair, that was right when he took over. So like,
yeah. I'm just joking. It's
Yeah.
fine.
But
That
Yeah,
also
but-
reminded me. Oh, sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to ask you, Jelly, your thoughts on the Void Cat. What are your thoughts on Ryan Drummond as Sonic? He tends to be a fan favorite.
I like him a lot. I agree he's not like the Sonic, but considering he was like the first one in 3D, he's just like iconic in his own way. Even if he's not the best one, like
Yeah.
I always think of him.
Yeah, because this was the start of like the I'm Sonic, I go fast. Like this was kind of the beginning of that.
Well, because
And
before
people
that, we had
still people like later iterations of Sonic have like done that to a degree,
Mhm.
and then when people meme them, that's what they say every time.
anytime somebody does like a Sonic impression, it is always, if they're trying to be cool, they're doing Drummond, and if they're trying to make fun of Sonic, they're doing Griffith, which I think is unfair because I think Griffith is overly hated. But
I think Griffith is better than Drummond. in
Yeah, I
3D.
think Griffith does a really good job. But yeah,
I think he has a better handle on the character.
Jason
Mm.
Griffith in Unleashed and Dark Knight are two of his best performances in two of the games
Yeah.
nobody likes to talk about.
I'll say I think Sonic in Unleashed, like the acting is really solid. Yeah.
Dark Knight is his best performance ever, and it's
Yeah.
right when he got fired too, which is
Yeah.
really
But,
sad.
but honestly, I'm a Roger Craig Smith guy. I think he does a
Right.
great job.
I'm so used to Roger as the voice now that I'm
Yeah.
just
Like even now when I listen to Frontiers, like when I first played it, it's so like deep and it's kind of
Mm.
like off-putting, but he said that's what they told me to do. And then you listen to it more and you're like, I'm more used to it
You
now.
get used to it really quickly.
Yeah, because could you imagine the emotional Frontiers dialogue with like Ryan Drummond, Jason Griffith? and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey, man, it's okay to love your robot daughter. She'll love you no matter what."
See, that's where I feel like Griffith was overhated though, because like his Shadow voice was always really good, despite it.
He
being
does have a
edgy.
good shadow voice. I agree. Yeah.
Well, Shadow, I don't think's ever really had a bad voice other than maybe Kirk Thornton. I'm still never was never really into Thornton's voice, but
But we'll get to Shadow. So, but Jelly, what do you think of the rest of the cast? Any like highlights? People you don't think work?
I feel like big is very apt, but I feel like that wouldn't fly nowadays for some reason.
No,
Make
no.
him
I
sound like that.
like. There's a reason they use Big the Cat sparingly these days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? What? Froggy, is that you?
So for those who don't know, Sonic Adventure, how they set up the game is kind of like unique because I mean, prior to this, there was always like, oh, you could play as other characters in the series, right? But Adventure felt like the first game to where it was like Sonic and friends. So you start the game playing as Sonic, right? And then you do your normal Sonic stuff. And then you'll run into Tails, you'll run into Knuckles, you'll run into Amy. And then you can unlock their stories, basically. And you have, I think it's, if I'm doing them at six.
There
Sonic,
is-
Tails,
yep.
Knuckles, Amy,
And Big and Gamma.
Big, Gamma,
Gamma.
and then Super Sonic at the end.
Whoa,
So this was
spoilers.
you play a Super Sonic at the end of a Sonic game. Whoa.
I will say the thing that I find really fun is like you don't have to finish Sonic's story to unlock all the characters. Like the second
Yes.
you run into Tails, so like right at the end after the first level is when you run into Tails, and immediately from then on you could leave Sonic's
Yeah.
story and go play Tails if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or as the game likes to aptly say, you could now play with Tails.
You can now play with Knuckles.
You can now play with Amy.
Big. I just
So-
there's so much like Narm in this game that I love.
Yeah. So we'll get to the other characters, but let's start with Sonic, right? So like Sonic's story, it definitely has the most meat to it. Right?
Yes.
Clearly. It has the most content. It's like, the game is tailored for it. And this isn't Sonic's first time in 3D, as I mentioned before with say 3D Blast, which is the only real like comparison to this game. At least at this point. I mean, there was Sonic R, but that's not really a platformer.
The Sonic
Um,
World hub thing in Jam.
The Sonic World Hub World it's
That-
close.
That was technically the scrapped remains of the original Saturn attempt at Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, because Sonic Adventure started development during the Saturn days.
Because you can famously see that only in the Dreamcast version, they fixed it for all the later versions. When you ride the tornado, after you finish the level, when it does that panning shot, if you look at Sonic's model, it is very clearly classic Sonic.
Yeah. That's tough
Fun.
to see. But with 3D Blast, it was made by Traveler's Tales. So, they were doing a different thing with Sonic, So Adventure is like, here's how he should be in 3D, right? What I like is that they didn't just take the 2D game and then tilt the camera, right? It's very much like giving it its own kind of like fresh idea. Like the spin dash is here, the jump is very floaty. Like I think Sonic in this game is very floaty compared to the Genesis games. Like he's not, I wouldn't say he's not floaty in the Genesis games, but I feel a little bit more in control of him at times. Whereas I think Adventure 1, the way he plays, I don't know, sometimes I feel like he's just like gliding in the air like goddamn Bubsy or something at times, which can be a little unwieldy, but I think for the most part, he controls perfectly fine. And the levels are kind of cater-made for that.
One thing I really like about Sonic's levels in this game, and this is both a pro and kind of a detriment at the same time, because they were trying to be very ambitious. They really did try to take the Genesis gameplay and make it work in 3D. Because like one thing I noticed right away playing these games, they have a lot of like elevation and momentum based design. And when you roll Sonic into a ball, he actually interacts with that momentum in ways like you can roll down hills to gain speed. You can actually jump into enemies, and like you don't need to use the homing attack.
No.
The loops are all automated, because if you actually play the test levels with the code, you'll find that the loops that they didn't automate don't work for shit. I think they gave it an honest to God good try for a first game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you could argue the effort was lesser on later Sonic games, but Adventure, I don't feel that. I feel like they put all the effort in that they could to like get it right, you know?
And he feels quick, but not uncontrollable.
No. But what do you think about the controls, Jelly?
Yeah, I mean that obviously is my favorite games. I love the way they control. It's like my favorite iteration of 3D control. The amount of the automated loops and stuff, I feel like that can get a bit much in other games, but it feels like the balance is just right in that like I can still fuck up a loop and die if I'm not careful. It doesn't like hold your hand all the way through it. It's just the right amount. And I think my favorite part of the translating the original games into 3D is um like being rewarded for playing well and going on higher routes and then finishing the
Yes.
level quicker. I love that so much. That was one of my favorite parts of learning the level and doing well in the original games, is that you
Yes.
can skip all the obstacles at the bottom and just like sail on through. And I think they did that really well in 3D, all the alternate routes and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So,
it very much
I love
carries
that
over
controls.
that trial and error gameplay that some
Yeah.
people don't like, but as I
You
always
can
say, get good.
You can speedrun strat too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the speedruns in Adventure 1 and 2 are some of the wackiest shit I've ever seen.
Like one of my favorite
Mhm.
ones is the dock right at the start of Emerald Coast. If you do a spin dash jump right at the start, you can jump onto the bridge up top and just keep going, and just skip that entire section.
I mean, and if
Yeah.
you're trying to do that emblem to say like get under the time, you have to do that.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
can't beat it
exactly.
legit without it. Yeah. And yeah, an Emerald Coast is a fantastic opening stage. It's not Green Hill, but it is like 3D Green Hill, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
It's like a fun coastal variant of it.
Yeah, but it's like this is how they introduce like 3D Sonic. Like this is how he plays, this is how it feels. Like here are the new things, and then here are the things that you remember. This is gonna sound crazy. Is the homing attack in Adventure 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was gonna touch on that. Yeah.
because I don't associate the homing attack with 1 as much as I do 2.
Oh,
Because one, it is
interesting.
so seamless in one. Like you go.
Yeah. And also I think the level design in 1 doesn't really cater to the homing attack, much like say the 2D Sonic games, where I think Adventure 2, they kind of want you to use it
Yeah,
a
in Adventure
lot.
2, they're like homing attack across these guys.
Exactly, but Adventure 1,
figure out where to use it.
Yeah, in Adventure 1, it doesn't feel like you use it nearly as much.
In Adventure 1, it's kind of like a fun thing where it's like, hey, here's an alternate route. If you say want to, like in Windy Valley, there's like those little like hovering like propeller things that you can homing on to get to a different route.
Yeah, and then of course, the big thing with this level is when you hit the docks and then you see the giant orca going over you, and then the camera turns to like in front of Sonic, and then he's running toward the screen with the orca. That's the iconic moment from the game, really, that they showed, and it's great. I love when they do that stuff. Again, they
so
use
iconic. They pay tribute to it in Sonic Adventure 3, a game that wasn't even 10 years old yet.
Yeah, but they always use that idea sparingly. They never overdid it. And I think that was great. Like you'd see it once, maybe twice a game, and then that was it, which was good on them. And then Emerald Coast, great starting level. I do love that level. But then
you were gonna say, Jelly, you had a thing to say about the homing attack?
Oh, the homing attack.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Massive pet peeve of modern Sonic games is when you're jumping and then you get the little lock-on thing. It's like, hey, homing attack this guy. You can hit this guy, and it's like, I know what I'm doing. I love that in Adventure 1 and 2, they just don't have that. You know what you're hitting. I don't need a big crosshair to be like, hey, you can homing attack this thing.
One thing I'll give it the Adventure 1 homing attack as well is there's no like audible sound when you do it. Like starting with Adventure 2, Sonic makes like that sound whenever he does the homing attack. And it's like it just kind of like breaks the flow for me, kind of. Like it's not bad in Adventure 2, but that's like the start of it.
I like it because it lets me know I did it right. Because you can, especially in the adventure games, you can fuck up that homing attack pretty bad.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So, but we get to the end of Emerald Coast, and it's great. And then we run into my first major problem with this game, which I know is a point of contention for people, is the hub worlds.
Okay, I'm on Team Hub Worlds, so I'm just gonna say that now.
See, I've always been a guy who thinks Sonic is best when he's level based. I get having the hub worlds in the exploration, and I think some like Sonic Frontiers does that, I think, a lot better, like the open world thing. But for Adventure 1, it just, to me, I feel like it bogs the game down, because my main memory of it as a kid wasn't doing the levels. It was getting to the hub world and being like, okay, where do I go now? And the game doesn't do the best job in telling you where to go. It will tell you, but it's not. It doesn't do like the modern game thing of constantly yelling at you every 2 seconds. Go here, do the thing. It doesn't do that, which is nice.
No, we just have to call being like, this way. Oh,
yeah. So in that way, it's a little annoying. I know people love the NPCs and all that other stuff, but I'm such a purist. I'm just like, I like going level to level to level. But that's just my opinion.
I will say, Adventure 2, I prefer that style.
Yeah.
I just love Adventure 1's hub world. Like, I just think it's so charming.
It's full of quirk. It is full of quirk.
I love you can talk to the random pool girls at the start, and they're just like, whatever this is. Like, I love talking to random.
You can just ride on. You can just ride on cars.
Yep.
You just jump on them and like nothing's wrong.
Or when you're playing as Big and they fucking hit the brakes and like because a giant cat out of nowhere.
Oh yeah. I'd stop. No, well, if you try to run over Big the cat, I think you would lose. I think you'd lose that fight.
Probably, considering you can pick a car up.
What do you think about the hub worlds, Jelly?
Oh, the hub worlds. After the game, when 2 came out and subsequent games, I remember thinking, oh man, I miss the hub world. I love the hub world. The hub world is bae. And now I've like gone back and replayed it a bunch. I was stupid. Hub world bad. Like it is charming, and it's got a lot of like, nostalgia there, but like, it's so clunky and bad, and
it's not good.
It's very endearing. It's very endearing.
Yeah.
And I did like following like little storylines that the NPCs had, like
the girl at the
as you
burger
went
shop.
on.
I
Yeah,
love
the girl at the burger shop, and there was like a guy having an affair, and you could like eavesdrop on their marital problems.
I love that you can
I love
steal
stuff like
that chow
that.
egg from that one store, and when you pick it
Stealing
up,
the
it sets
chow
off
egg?
the security, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to figure out how to steal it. Yeah, I love little touches like that. I just don't think overall it would be worth doing again. And like,
Yeah.
you're right.
But they
about the
did in
whole-
06.
Yeah,
They
they're
did.
bad. They're
and it was
bad.
bad. It was so bad.
It's weird. Like, it's gonna sound crazy. I think the hub world, the main hub world in 06, it's built better than the hub worlds in Adventure 1, but
It's
it
so
is not.
lifeless.
But it is so lifeless, and it's only good from an ironic standpoint of when you go up to people and they're just like, blah, 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 blah,
They're Sims
right?
characters. Like,
Exactly. But
Whatever that is.
but at the same time with those 6, it's the same thing with Adventure 1. It's like I don't think it's necessary for Sonic.
It's not. It's
I
not
really
at
don't.
all.
Like
It's
Mario's able to get away with it, but also like if we're going to compare, Peach's Castle in Mario 64 is an amazingly built hub world. Like it's fantastic, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And,
you're right
and
there with level. You're not like
yeah,
wandering
yeah.
around aimlessly.
And there's so many like really cool secrets in there and all that stuff. But like Adventure, again, it's that Mario 64 thing where they're like, oh, we should try the hub world thing as well. You know, and credit to them for doing all the multiple ones, and really they took advantage of them. Like you go all the way through Station Square, through Mystic Ruins, like you explore them to death and see all the little nooks and crannies. You know, credit to them for really using it.
Like,
and not just putting them in there because they're like, we have to, but it's like a port, like a lineup of like, okay, go to this level, now go to that level. You know what I mean? They use the space.
Like, for as clunky as it is definitely full of life. Like there is so
Yeah.
much going on, and
Absolutely.
like you can find like hints towards like other people's hub world mysteries, or the locations of specific levels, like Speed Highway, for instance. Like you talk to the guy in front of that door, and he's like, I always wondered what's behind this door. I never knew how to open it though. And it's like, okay, there's something obviously behind that door, so we'll figure that out later.
It does a better job of connecting the world and all the stages together than say Mario 64, where it's just a bunch of random paintings, so they can do whatever. You know, with Adventure, they find a way to make it all make sense within the world that they have created. And it's given us some of my one of my favorite Sonic tunes of all time, the Station Square Hub World tune. Since we're on music, should we talk about the music in Adventure 1?
Oh boy.
We could to a degree.
So this isn't Jun Senoway's debut in the series. He had worked on Sonic 3 prior.
And Sonic 3D Blast was his first major game.
Yeah. In fact, you can tell because some 3D Blast music appears in here. This might sound like a hot take, but I think Adventure 1's soundtrack overall is kind of meh. It has some high points, it really does, but there are just some tunes and some bits where I'm just like,
it's nowhere near as iconic as 2.
No, it is not.
It is very diverse, but by being diverse, it kind of is odd at times. Like,
well, Sonic has prided itself on diverse soundtracks before. I mean, look at Sonic CD. Like, no matter which soundtrack you pick, they're all over the fucking place, but they're bops all across the board, right? But I just think, I don't know, with Adventure, to me, I think it's because it sits somewhere in the middle of like that Saturn era, and then like what Crush 40 would do with the butt rock just right after, right? It sits in like this weird moment where it has a little bit of each, but I don't think it really is really strong in any of those.
So you want to know the perfect level that encapsulates just how bizarre the all over the place the soundtrack can be? Ice Mountain.
Ice Cap,
yeah. That first segment, like that little like tiny opening segment, you've got this really nice acoustic guitar track that you never hear the full thing because you finish that segment in like 3 seconds. But if you listen to the whole thing, you're like, damn, this is such a cool song. This should have been the entire level. And then you cut to the middle section where it's like this just eerie kind of like icicle sounding song that you spend the majority of the level, and you're like, okay.
Because it's so slow.
And then you get to the final part with the iconic snowboard segment, and you got the best song name ever, Be Wild, Be Cool, Be Crazy, or Be Crazy, whatever it is, where it's like damn, like hardcore rock, and it's like what a weird shift just from one entire
total
level.
whiplash of that level.
I should like how it just genre bends like crazy, right? But I just think a lot of the tunes just don't have that sauce that would happen, say the very next game, or even some of the. I mean, hell, even Sonic 06 has like a surprisingly amazing
Sonic
soundtrack.
06 might.
It's better than it should be.
It's the best part of the game, and it might low key be one of the greatest Sonic soundtracks ever. Tomio Otani was cooking that day. That's all.
For real, yeah. Jelly, what do you think of the Adventure 1 soundtrack?
Like I said, it's nowhere near iconic as 2, but that's like a pretty high fucking bar.
Yeah.
2's so good. I really like, I think, every musical track in 1. I think where it falls off a bit for me is the the tracks with vocals.
Oh, okay. This will be interesting.
And having to sit through all the credits that are like unskippable, and you get to hear like Big's theme, and I don't know. It kind of goes from so bad to like, oh, I'm kind of enjoying this now, but I guess
yeah.
I did want to talk about the vocal themes a little bit because this was the start of, well, not the start because it started with CD in all honesty. Sonic games
Sonic
with vocal.
Boom.
Sonic Boom, or
Sonic Boom's a
Sonic
lovely song.
Or
all the vocal tracks that Sonic are that are just incredible.
Amazing.
All bangers, every single one of them.
I have to say though, so this game famously gave us the debut of. They weren't technically Crush 40 yet; they were Sons of Angels. I still think at this point, but the debut of Jun Sonoi's band
feels like Crush 40 in disguise.
Well, so their original name was Sons of Angels.
Yeah. But I know, but like you listen to the main vocal theme of the whole game, Open Your Heart, right? And I think everyone would just go, that's a Crush 40 song.
Oh yeah.
But it's very embryonic Crush 40. Like the pieces are there, but you can tell they're not comfortable yet.
Like I love that. So this is also the point where you realize Jun Sonoi loves his 80s like washed up hard rock like hair metal artists, because the singer for Crush 40 is a guy named Johnny Gioeli, and he was most famous at that point for an extremely obscure hair metal band called Hardline, which was mostly known for it had Neil Schon from Journey on guitar. They had one song called Hot Cherry, and they went into absolute obscurity because they came out in '92 and grunge was already a thing. So you were dead on arrival, my boy. But he's since actually bounced back, and like Hardline has a ton of albums, and he's the lead singer for Axl Rudy Pell now. But that's besides the point. I love that opening intro song, like the intro for Adventure, where it's like that weird like somber start with the city, basically spoiling the ending of the game right at the start.
Yeah, basically.
I love that line right before it cuts into the actual Open Your Heart segment, where it's like you hear that like weird static thing, and that guy that supposedly says "Who gives a shit" in the background.
Yeah, you can kind of if you listen hard enough, you can hear it.
But I just love that random part where like you just all of a sudden hear like Johnny Gioeli just like yeah, like just out of the background.
That's it's great. Yeah. It's like, oh, we're here now. Okay.
Like
and then famously the lyrics to Open Your Eyes do not rhyme because Jun Sonoe wrote them, and then they just translated them directly to English.
Oh, so is that what happened?
That's why they don't rhyme at all.
But Johnny Gioeli,
Gioeli would take on the lyric writing after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's crazy is even with the bad lyrics, he has a really good way of just making them sound epic somehow.
I think what makes him work as a singer for like Crush 40 and all the Sonic stuff is that he is not half-assing it at all. Like it is cheesy, it is over the top, but it perfectly fits, right? Like anybody else who had a little bit more of an ego or a little bit more of success than him would not be giving their full effort like he does every time. And I think that's why the Crush 40 stuff hits so hard and why people love it so much is that, like, if you didn't know any better, you would just think it's just some, like, random, like, butt rock tune from the 90s. You wouldn't think anything about it. But then when you put it in the context of the Sonic games, it's like, damn, they went this hard for the blue guy? That's awesome. People appreciate that.
Even the character themes, like we got It Doesn't Matter, version 1 by Tony Harnell, another
so good
80s hair metal singer, famously from the band TNT. I love Open Your Heart. Like, I love Open Your Heart too, but I love
Open Your Heart's good.
It Doesn't Matter. Like, It Doesn't Matter. I love that, like just that guitar riff.
Oh yeah.
Tails' theme, I'm Gonna Fly High or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
it's whatever. Yeah.
I don't know whether I like this version or the weird sitar version in 2 more.
I think I like 2 more.
I think so, yeah.
I could leave either of them.
I could see Tails liking like sitar music. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Then
cultures.
Knuckles famously has
George Harrison.
Knuckles famously has Unknown from ME, performed by
so good.
Marlon Saunders.
What a track.
it ends with the iconic line of "I get it on by myself." Like
I was born by myself. I don't need a boss. I get it on by myself. Adversaries get shelved.
it's just
With
it's
those
like a
Knuckles.
weird jazz rock because this is before they decided to make Knuckles like a rapper. Like they did.
This is before they were like, okay, Knuckles is black. Let's just go with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's at
yeah,
least black coded.
yeah.
At least.
They gave him like a jazz theme for this one, which I'm okay with because I love Unknown from Amy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
it suits them.
And then Amy had the iconic "My Sweet Passion."
Yeah, she was like shave her cat or something.
The Sphinx was so cute. I had to shave it.
It's so weird.
Yeah, the
But that
lyrics are very
song
weird.
is so catchy.
The riff is a banger.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Mhm.
Big had "Lazy Days, Living in Paradise," performed by Ted Poley, another washed-up '80s singer from the band Danger Danger.
They
I
are
mean,
also
Big
super
looks
going
like a
for it.
washed-up '80s singer. Let's be real here.
See,
Oh.
it's weird because Ted Poley and Tony Harnell would become icons in like Sonic music, particularly in Adventure 2.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we'll get to that later.
Mhm.
And then Gamma had "Theme of Gamma," 'Cause-
Yeah.
which is a good
Gamma.
song, but
It
it's
is.
also like not a vocal track. So
It's kind of reflective of Gamma's story as well.
They should have
Yeah.
put a robot singing over it.
Yeah, get like some vocoder on there. Get Daft Punk to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
I
Daft
like-
Punk weren't. Hey, this was '99. They weren't big yet.
mm,
They were not. Discovery was 2 years later.
yeah, but yeah, musically though, the whole game, it's all over the place. There are tracks I love, like Casinopolis. I love that like weird jazz guitar that sounds like straight out of a porno. Like at the start.
Yeah, it's not
Like
bad.
just like that weird like do 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 do. Like just
Yeah,
at the
and
start.
then I've always liked Windy Valley's tune, which is just reusing the first stage tune from 3D Blast.
Mhm.
Like he just brings that back, which is a great fucking tune. Yeah, I mean it has its moments, but it's just I just don't think it's an amazing soundtrack. You know, it in some instances it kind of just limps to the finish line.
The one
You know?
song that always sticks out to me is Red Hot Skull from the mountain
Oh,
Level
Red
Electric-
Mountain.
from Red
Mountain's
Mountain.
tune, yeah,
The
yeah, you
second
love that
bit when
one.
you go
It's
inside.
It's that theme where like you go underground and you're going past those
Yeah.
weird jail cells with like those weird like 2D guys.
Yeah,
Um,
I love that track so much.
It's
That's a
such
good
an
one.
odd track, and you only hear it for like 5
Weird.
seconds because you fly through that segment super quick. But like
Mhm.
it's got this like crazy like bass line. It's got this weird keyboard piano segment in the middle of it, and I'm like, Jun Senoi was cooking, but like
Oh yeah.
you fly through these levels so quick, you don't hear any of this.
Yeah, like he's so talented, but I just think he just wasn't there as a video game composer yet. You
I
know, it
think
sounds like he's
this-
just to me it sounds like he's just making songs. You know,
think,
and he's
like,
not
this-
really catering them to the
Mm.
games, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of the issue. Like Station Square like is a whole piece. Like it has a whole other section that nobody ever hears
Oh,
because
yeah.
you just move on to the next track, right?
Yeah, because
and
every
that's
time
kind
you
of the
change
issue with
screens, it restarts. And you're
yeah,
like,
and that's the issue with Adventure is the music never really settles in itself.
Yeah.
You know, so even when the good stuff happens, you have to listen to it later. And
Like-
sometimes I think that hurts video game soundtracks. Like what I loved about the Genesis tunes is that they're all fucking incredible, but they're all very short little like minute tunes that
Mhm.
repeat over and over again, but you get the whole scope of it. You know, like Nakamura was a fucking genius with like Green Hill. Like you get Green Hill after like 20 seconds. You're like, I get it, you know, and then you can just hear it over and over again. But June would improve that later on, I think. He would kind
Yeah.
of learn how to make that work.
like a game later on by him that really showed his like musical diversity in like a great way was like Black Knight. It's weird that Black Knight has
Black
a lot
Knight
of
has an interesting soundtrack, yeah.
because he brought back Howard Drossen for that game.
Yeah,
Like,
Drossen's an underrated guy
He
in the
is.
Sonic music history, I think. He did most
really
of Sonic
is.
and Knuckles himself.
he did. But going back to this game, yeah, music it's good, but it's weird. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
I
mixed
mean
bag.
the whole game is kind of weird, you know? Like
Yeah, that's true.
like we should probably get into the plot, like the story of this game, right? So you you kind of pick up the plot in like bits and pieces when you play like
Well-
all the various characters.
Because you have to also bring up too, this game does a weird thing with the story where each character, the plot is like retold in each story from that character's point of view.
Yeah.
It's like the iconic, hey, look, it's a giant talking egg, is completely different when you play as Tails because that Tails' story is through Tails' point of view.
Yeah. So Tails is disassociating during that point.
Well, in Tails' story, he's like taking charge, and Sonic's in the background like, yeah, get him.
It's so
Like,
jarring. No, yeah, when you play through Tails, he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do, Eggman? Yeah, you want to fight? You want to go?" And he's just like Tails. And
it's like
Sonic's
Tails,
like,
you're not this guy.
like dissociating in the background, and it's like,
Yeah.
this is
Or it's like
really
that
out of
point where
character. I don't like
and,
it.
and like when like Sonic fights Knuckles, like Knuckles kicks the shit out of him. Oh no.
Yeah.
But then
Oh,
when
no.
you play as Knuckles, Knuckles is like, oh, I beat the shit out of Sonic, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's all over the place. But like the most I could gather from I didn't like deep dive into the story, but it's most like Eggman is trying to get all the Chaos Emeralds naturally, but he has this grand scheme of this creature called Chaos, which is like if he puts all the Chaos, if you put all the emeralds into Chaos, it becomes this big giant water creature thing that can just kill everything. And so Sonic and the gang have to stop him, but also they're like time traveling to back when there was more than just Knuckles as the Echidna, because there's a what Tikal's her name, is that right?
Yeah, Tikal.
And is that Knuckles' sister?
No.
Ancestor, like
Ancestor, okay.
dead
Dude,
ancestor.
are you flirting with my sister? Sorry, it's the jet thing.
Well, I mean,
love
it's okay. The Archie Sonic, the Echidnas are just everywhere. And Ken Panders got really too into it.
Yeah, that he did. But we're not here to talk about that. Like I'm sure there's like a half decent plot in here, but again, it's told so haphazardly and so fractured with all these other characters. I feel like it's really hard to keep track of unless you're taking notes.
So
you know,
this is a really bizarre compliment I'm going to give Sonic X. Sonic X.
Love that theme song.
Which one? The British version or the American version?
The American version.
Okay, I was gonna say because the British version is just that one singer going Sonic X, Sonic, like it's just over and over, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, that's right, sir. No, I like the gotta go faster.
I'm gonna give a props to Sonic X because I actually will say the coverage of Adventure 1 and 2, minus Chris Thorndike being annoying, is actually really good on that show. And
I agree.
they handled Adventure 1's plot very well in the sense that so one thing that I always criticize Adventure 1's plot for is the flashback segments. Because in the flashback segments, because of how the game's progression works, they have to do one per character, which is fine, but like what does Big the Cat care? Like
he's just trying to get Froggy. Like why does he care about the plight of the Echidnas?
Like there's an amazing edit that internet reviewer, some call me Johnny, when he did his Sonic Adventure review, he jokingly said he was criticizing this very plot point, and he joked saying, "What do you think's going on in Big's head right now?" And he just cuts to Big's head and showing the Trololo guy going on.
Yeah,
it's just like
it was that era. Yeah.
In Sonic X, only Knuckles has the flashbacks, and
Okay,
that
Which
makes
perfect sense. Yes, because also I think it's the other biggest issue with Sonic Adventure is I think this game has a lot of padding, like a lot of it, because you play the Sonic story, right? And the Sonic story is what 3-ish hours long, maybe, and you get it, and you're like, okay, that felt good, right? That was a nice, sizable story. It made somewhat sense and everything. But then they were like, oh, we want to have the things where you play as all the other characters. And they're like, great. So we should like make other stages or stages that better reflect these characters' abilities. And they go, oh, the game's out in 2 weeks. We can't do that. Just throw them in there, you know? And that's, it just bugs me, man.
I'm going to I don't know why my voice got all weird and pretentious there.
Sir, I'm going to defend Tails' story in Sonic Adventure.
I'll defend Tails' gameplay to a degree. I like the racing mechanic as a speed running concept. I think it's kind of fun, like the speed through those levels as fast as they can. The way they were designed in Tails' actual control, I think is pretty good in this game.
I'm not even necessarily saying the other characters play bad or their game modes are bad. I think it's just the levels are they just took Sonic's levels and altered
Yeah.
them slightly to try to fit those characters, and I think for the most part it just doesn't work. It just like when you're doing the tail stuff, it's like it's cool, but it's just like the Sonic levels, and a lot of times I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't make this kind of a level for Tails. It just doesn't work for me. Like Knuckles, they tried a little bit more because it's the beginning of everyone's favorite, the treasure hunting and getting all the emerald shards, right? Which I've always kind of liked them in
I
both
love
games.
them.
I don't hate them. I don't hate
I
them.
I have a love-hate relationship with them. I
Yeah.
don't like the levels in Adventure 1, but I love the setup, like how Knuckles' control feels and how the
Yeah.
radar works.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
prefer the
It's
levels in 2, but I don't like the fact that like you're restricted to one emerald. So like sometimes the RNG just really is rough on you in
Yeah.
Adventure 2.
Yeah.
I think
that's
it's handled better in Adventure 1, but yeah, aesthetically it is so much better in Adventure 2.
Yeah.
And then Amy's stuff is, to me, Amy's stuff is the most pointless. It doesn't amount to really anything. Like,
Mhm.
it's interesting, the whole, you're getting chased by that robot the whole time. And, she has the hammer, of course. And the one thing I like is like that hammer jump when you're running
Oh
fast
yeah, I
enough, you
love
hit the
that.
hammer and leap.
I also love to
But again, a character with that ability, I would make levels that more cater to the idea of her being chased, and she has these like hammer abilities, and they really don't.
Yeah.
If she was a bit faster, I think it would help. Because she's
Yeah.
really
So
slow.
slow.
Yeah, and like that hammer jump thing, you have to be like achieving like top speed to do it.
Yeah.
And getting the momentum to get her going is really sluggish.
I will say, because this game has unlockable power-ups, we'll talk a bit more probably about later. But one of Amy's is the long hammer, and I love when you get the long hammer because whenever you do the hammer jump, it just leaves this big like smack sound every time.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, and then Gamma's stuff is just you're just riding around shooting shit. Like, it's fine. It's not
Yeah.
bad at all, but each level's like what, 3 minutes maybe? Like,
So
you just knock them out, man.
Yeah, he's got a time limit for each level, and they're all trivial
Yes.
except for the one right towards the end, just because of that really obnoxious like train segment, which is like super
Yeah.
That's the one I always lost on as a kid. Like as a child, I could not get past that bit. I always ran out of time. Now it's
Yeah.
easy, but it was a pain in the ass.
It is annoying for sure. Oh yeah, Joe, what do you think of the Tails stuff? The whole like you gotta
Tails
beat
stuff?
Sonic, you gotta beat Robotnik or whatever.
I will say I'm gonna take the opposite take and say I don't like the racing mechanics.
That's fair.
Even though Sonic is going fast, it's like my favorite part is the exploration.
Mhm.
Like I said, my favorite thing is like exploring all the different routes and all different ways I can go and playing the level differently each time. So you kind of get punished for that when you're trying to race Sonic.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about the other levels too. Because I like exploring so much. I think I would enjoy Tails' levels a lot more if I could just like fuck around and fly around and explore different things. I love the emerald hunting levels because exploration is the point.
Yeah.
And then Amy's kind of doesn't work because one, she's slow, obviously, and two, the levels are cool and I want to explore, but this robot's chasing me, and like I want to take my time and absorb it, but it's like I have to go fast, and it's like I want to go fast when I'm ready to go fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like how they handled Tails, they really let him down because he's not really a speed character. He's
And I
more of
feel
like
the same about
vertical
Gamma
exploring.
too. With the
Yeah.
time limit, I'm like, I want to explore this level. It looks cool. I want to go explore and shoot stuff, but
Like I think Gamma, like having it more like longer, shoot 'em up, like almost kind of like Panzer Dragoon-esque, like say with the tornado segments with Tails, which is just Panzer Dragoon, you know, and it works because Panzer Dragoon is great. Like, yeah, that stuff just really kind of lets it down.
They
Like,
basically took Gamma and expanded him for the Eggman and Tails levels in 2.
Yeah.
And they're not rushing you. You don't pass away from nothing.
You know what I
Those levels.
you know what I think whenever I think of the Gamma levels? I
Mhm.
always think of like because whenever you start moving, Gamma just like constantly changes forms and he just goes mode change.
Mode
change.
Yeah.
But then like when he changes to his wheels, it's like great, but then he always gets stuck on little ramps. Like
I always remember too when the egg carrier is crashing and then he just all of a sudden pulls out this weird hover mechanic and like Don't you have
It's
that?
like, where the fuck was this?
Apparently,
God damn
if you go over water, he goes into that mode, but like you never do.
Yeah,
so it's
you
like,
never see it.
Never
Yeah.
it's weird. Like crazy enough, I think the characters that like the gameplay and the levels and all that are really well suited for them are
Mm,
Sonic, Knuckles,
yeah.
call me fucking crazy, Big.
I was wondering if we
Yeah.
were just going to ignore Big and move on.
No,
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 I-
no,
Don't
I
worry, I
was
didn't criticize him. I didn't mention him because his levels are perfect.
I was saving Big because Big, this guy,
I love him.
there he is. He is quite the point of contention in this game. And playing his levels again for the first time in I don't know how long, they weren't that bad. They really weren't.
You just have to figure out how to do it, and then it's like easy.
Like how I did it, how I figured it out was when you cast as Froggy, right? Or like when you're trying to get Froggy, because his whole thing is, for those who don't know, his whole thing is fishing, right?
Sega
He has the
bass
fishing
was
rod.
popular at the time.
Well, Sega bass fishing is much better, but but like his best friend is Froggy, and then Froggy just decides, fuck off, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
whatever.
you
And
think
Big
they
is
are
like,
best friends. I'm not convinced they are.
Well,
it's like one is more friends than the other. It's that kind of situation.
The Sonic
you
fan
know
base
what I'm
has
talking
ruined-
about.
The Sonic fan base has ruined their relationship for me because I always think of the
Yeah, of
Sonic
course.
shorts where he's like the Froggy's like, no, leave me alone. He's like, you were trying to stick me up your ass last night. He's like, that was fun. It's like, no, it wasn't.
God damn it. Yeah, so Big is trying to fish to get Froggy in all the levels. So credit to Sonic Team for actually like making levels that were themed around everything, but like it's like, no, you go and fish and find Froggy. And yeah, a lot of people complain that's like, oh, it's so bad, but it's really not. Like how I figured it out was when you cast for Froggy, and when he hooks, just like take the left stick and just go left to right a bunch, and he'll hit every time. It was fucking foolproof. I would just wiggle the stick left and right, every time hit. And then reeling him in sometimes was a pain in the ass, but you know, it was just like once you figure it out, you can breeze those levels. You really can.
So when you get the life belt later on, and you can just float in the water.
Yep.
And you once you discover you can cast while floating, you can literally get right on top of him, cast and be like, I caught a fish.
Yeah, basically. And there's a whole mechanic of like you can catch other fish, much like say Sega bass fishing and
That's
all that.
how you get his other emblems.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
different, well, not emblems, but you know what I mean. I like those because a lot of the weights of the fish you need to catch, like say in the A levels, you need to get pretty much every lore upgrade. So I really enjoyed just wandering around looking for those.
He's
Yeah.
also got his bigger rod that's harder to find, but it's good for like when you need to attack. Like for like
Yeah. But in my playthrough, I only got one lore upgrade, and that was enough to like coast to get Froggy.
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
to
time.
get Froggy, yeah, he's easy.
Yeah, he's not that bad. So, but yeah, Big is such a weird point of contention. I think it's just because his character design's kind of weird. Like, why does he have weird black sunken in eyes? And he's like this giant, like Patrick Star looking motherfucker who sounds like he's on the spectrum. He might be missing a chromosome. We're not too sure. He might have an extra one for all we know.
He's got his feet out, but he doesn't have toes.
Yeah, it's just he's a character that you could tell they were trying to add in like a comic relief, cartoony kind of a character, right? They had done it. They had done it before, and they would do it later. But Big to me, just Big the cat is the Jar Jar Binks of the fucking Sonic world.
So
you know?
I read an interview with Azuka, I believe, or maybe it was one of the main creators of the game at the time.
Oh yeah, this was Takashi Iizuka's debut in the Sonic world. He directed this game.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He made a comment saying that the whole idea behind Big was they wanted to add a character that wasn't always going fast and was slower to kind of like
I mean, Knuckles isn't that fast.
Knuckles is actually kind of fast in these games.
Yeah, but like again, his gameplay isn't catered around going fast.
Fair. This might just be Azuka trying to change the narrative a little bit, like because he does that every now and then. But
yeah, he has from time to time. To me, yeah, Big the cat he just gives me like if Patrick Star was bad. You know what I mean? He just has that similar energy.
I'd respect them more if they just flat out came out and said it was because Sega bass fishing was popular at the time and like just got it out of the way. I think everyone would just accept it at that point. Like, okay.
And they thought having some like autistic cat would be cool.
Yes.
Like I don't know if he's autistic. He's mentally slow. 1,000%. There's no denying it. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
And then the voice, like the fact they got Duke Nukem to go like, Froggy, let's go, Froggy. And if you yeah, and if you know the Duke Nukem voice, like, and you listen to Big the Cat, you hear it. Like, it's one of those, like, if you listen real hard, you're like, you can tell it's Duke Nukem doing it.
I'm here to kick bubblegum and chew ass, but I'm all out of ass.
I'm here to chew ass and catch Froggy, and I caught Froggy. But really, it like, he's a weird, dumb character that they kind of gave up on because I think they realized he's kind of in bad taste, I think, and they never really used him correctly, right? Like he's in this game. He makes his little cameos in Adventure 2, which we'll get to. He's in Heroes.
In the
Dreamcast version. He's decently useful in Heroes, right?
His belly flop is so useful in that game.
Yeah, and then he reappears out of nowhere in Frontiers with that really nice fishing mini game.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, because
perfect fit. Perfect fit.
Big the Cat's Cat had kind of a renaissance as of late. For whatever reason.
That's a way to put it.
The fandom really, like, I think it came from, like, there was a famous Sonic ROM hack that was called Big's Fishing Derby, and it was just
yeah, I've heard of that
ROM
one.
hack. Like, because the fan base is kind of they're charmed by the guy now.
Well, also I think it's like cozy games have gotten so popular recently, and like fishing mini games have gotten so big that I think some people have retroactively gone back and were like, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think it's kind of mixed. I mean, they put fishing mini games in fucking everything these days.
Yeah.
So it just made sense to bring back Big for that in Frontiers, and I think they handle him just fine. Though when I saw him, I kind of got a Thousand Island stare for a second because I was like, "Oh no, this guy again."
Did you just say Thousand Island stare, you fat boss?
But after replaying Adventure 1, I'm like, honestly, he's really not that bad. He's easy to joke about, but honestly, there are way worse Sonic characters than Big.
He was my main.
Fucking worse.
He was
like
my
they don't
main
like
in
some
Sonic,
genuinely piss me off. Big doesn't piss me off. I just think it's stupid.
When Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing came out, he was my main for a while because I was like, he's finally fast. He's fast finally.
He is fast in that game, absolutely.
On his little froggy motorcycle.
Yeah, yeah, froggy motorcycle is beautiful. So yeah, you get all these like various bits of gameplay, and then with every character not Sonic. Their sections last maybe an hour, maybe some are like 30 minutes.
The longest is Knuckles, just because sometimes those levels could be the egg.
And there's a lot of cutscenes with Knuckles' story.
I was just
going
to say the cutscenes themselves take up the bulk of that. Like if you get lucky with the emeralds, you can do the levels in like a minute, and then the cutscenes will literally be like 5 times as long as the gameplay.
Yeah, it's all this like echidna lore bullshit that I think, unless you're Ken Panders, why do you care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All for him.
Because I always think too, like, depending on the storyline too, like you miss a lot of like stuff. Like I think in Tails' story, like Big the Cat shows up for like 2 seconds, like literally.
Well, it's because it's that point.
Him.
It's because Tails finds Froggy because I think it's like Froggy swallows one of the emeralds or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, and a piece of chaos, right? So that's why Tails is like, oh, I need to extract it from the frog or whatever, right? And then Big sees him and goes, Froggy, and then just like fucking leaps at him like it's like a survival horror game.
I love that cutscene though, because like
it's amazing.
And it's Tails, at night, it's scary.
It's at night. But the part that I love is like Tails is just chilling there, and all of a sudden you just hear the opening riff to Lazy Days Living in Paradise. And it just you see Big running towards him, and you're just like, what is happening?
Didn't somebody make like it was like some survival horror game? Didn't they mod it to where it was Big?
If they did,
wouldn't surprise
that's
me.
Good.
Like imagine like Outlast, but it's like you hear like off in the distance, you're like, oh fuck, it's Big. I got it.
Amendment on the 8 pages was just a JPEG of Big.
Just a walking JPEG.
You just hear a G major.
We couldn't do a PNG. We had to be a JPEG. Yeah. And again, it's just they're just not really fleshed out. Like, I think a lot of my issue with Adventure 1 is that it's just not a super fleshed out game.
Like
there's a lot of little things, but it kind of lacks an overall vision, I think, outside of the main Sonic story. Like the main Sonic story works, but I think the rest of it, it's just a disjointed kind of a mess, much like an adventure.
So one thing I'll say like that like drives me a little nuts about this game is because they do the overlapping story stuff. There are a few moments in this game where I'm just like, it really gets on my nerves, particularly Chaos 4.
Oh,
is that the lily pad?
Yes.
Fight?
One.
Yeah,
Sonic,
that's a bad
Tails,
boss fight.
And Knuckles all fight him,
Drives
and
me
it's
crazy. I hate that so much.
It's a bad boss
Three
fight.
times.
Like with Sonic, it's fine because you have the homing attack. The other ones you don't, and it makes
Knuckles,
it much more of a pain in the ass.
Tails is the worst. Knuckles, you can just glide into him, and it's okay.
You know the worst part is about that though. You do not only do you do it 3 times, he's a fish. Big doesn't fight him.
I know.
Do
Big
it
fights
big.
Chaos 6 in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dumbest
Not even a fish
boss fight
anymore.
in the entire game.
Yeah, he just swallows Froggy, and then Big just has to cast him, which you could do that in 10 minutes or 10 seconds.
Yeah,
depending,
because it's pure luck. It is pure fucking luck.
You can either defeat that boss fight in one swing, or it is the most pain in the ass thing you'll ever do.
Yeah. And I had the latter, and I fucking hated it.
I got lucky on my most recent play that I just swung. It was like, I did it. And I'm just like, hooray.
Yeah. And when you and every time you get it, you're like, oh thank God.
I
Like
love
every
to,
time
'cause-
I beat a big stage, it was just a sigh of relief. I was like,
I love
have
to
to deal
because
with this.
he teams up with Sonic for that fight. And after he
Yeah.
catches Froggy, he just like fucks off. And Sonic's like, all right, I'll finish this, I guess.
yeah, it's like, where does Big go after that? How does he get off the carrier?
He takes the
He takes the
tornado.
plane.
He takes the tornado.
Yeah, he steals the plane.
Like,
He's like, ooh, a plane."
you legit.
Ooh, I just got my pilot's license.
Well, he legitimately like runs up to it and goes, I don't know, buddy. I think maybe we could use this. And then we don't really
I
see what
forgot
happens.
about
Oh no,
that.
you get this janky
Yeah.
cutscene of like the
Yes.
tornado going like this. Like flying off at the
I must have
carrier.
zoned that shit out. I don't
So
know.
if it doesn't
Or-
have landing gear, how does it take off also? How does he...
it has jet propulsion. It's a rocket. I don't know.
He makes
I
Froggy push.
Well, what always bugs me about the tornado is that it's not Tails' plane; it's Sonic's plane.
Yeah, it's
The
on its
Tornado
plane.
2 is Tails' plane.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, why the fuck would Sonic use a plane? He could just
Yeah,
run
I know,
everywhere.
Fast Bud. What do you mean?
He could just run. He could just run everywhere. Sonic just.
Sometimes he wants to take it slow, Frank.
It's
When he's hanging
like-
out with Amy, he has to take it slow. Well, actually, no, he doesn't like Amy.
even though he hangs out with her in like the later games, just because.
Oh my god! Remember, like we noticed this in 1 when you play as Amy and she does her cutscene, like, "Oh, I miss Sonic." It flashbacks to Sonic's CD
Yeah,
in 3D, but it's like
Mhm.
really bad.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
it uses
the
her modern
horrible
because it shows up. Because
Yeah.
it shows Metal Sonic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Metal Sonic never shows up anymore in the game. So they modeled Metal Sonic just for that, like 2-3 seconds.
Well, he's in that
Crazy.
pod in Eggman's workshop, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, he is
Mm.
there. Yeah, there's them, and then there's was it
Silver.
Mecha Sonic?
Well, it's
Mecha
supposed to
Sonic,
be
yeah.
Silver Sonic, but it doesn't look anything like Silver Sonic.
Well, it's
No,
like
it
well,
doesn't.
I forget the exact name, but it's the one from 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the weird hitbox.
Mhm.
And I love because that scene is very clearly just somewhere in the Mystic Ruins. They just kind of like framed
Yeah,
it there.
yeah,
We're like,
it-
yeah, this is totally Little Planet.
Yeah, it's so funny how like they definitely try to make this is a sequel to Sonic and Knuckles. Like this is a direct sequel because like Angel Island is there, Ice Cap is there. There's the
Mhm.
flashback to Sonic CD. Like they're trying to fit it into the canon. But I feel like after this, they kind of just were like, whatever. Like they follow each other, sort of, kind
And I
of, but
never
like
got that impression because it would have been the first game I played after Sonic and Knuckles, and like
Yeah.
my mind never went there. But like, oh, this is a sequel. It just felt
See,
like the same thing.
yeah, and I never thought about it until this playthrough. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, this is like a direct continuation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You
Because
know?
we also get that scene that's supposed to like explain how Tails met Sonic. and it's very clearly in the Mystic Ruins forest. Like, I hate that forest maze that I hate, by the way.
That maze is dog shit.
But like, it's just like Tails is just like there, and then Sonic runs by, and he's like, "I'm gonna follow him," and then they just
Yeah, he just goes following him.
they're
He's
just
like,
friends.
oh, nice memories. It's like, is it?
I mean, that is kind of canon, is that like Tails saw Sonic doing his shit and he's like, oh, he's so cool. And then like Sonic was like nice to him once. So he's just like, I'm just going to tag along. And Sonic's just like, okay, I guess. If you don't hurt yourself. And then he learned that Tails was smart. So he's like, oh, I'm going to keep him around.
I think in X, they
That
had
ain't
this.
stupid.
I think in Sonic X, they had this plot point about Tails just finds Sonic's plane and just starts repainting it, and Sonic's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
That is so
I had to
rude. What the
I had to
heck?
rewatch Sonic X, man. Oh, it's
Yeah,
been
me
a long
too.
time.
I don't remember that.
It is a trip, especially the final season where it becomes Star Trek for some reason.
See, I remember I'd watch bits of it as a kid and I always liked it. And then when I got older, everyone's like, that show was bad. I'm like, it was bad, but I haven't gone back to check, but they're probably right.
Most of the bad all revolves around Chris Thorndyke. So,
yeah, I think it was good, and he was just annoying.
That's fair.
the best
but
scene in that
anyways.
anime is when Shadow beats the shit out of him. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. And so we do all these stories, and then it all coalesces at the end where Sonic is able to get all the Chaos Emeralds, and then he turns into Super Sonic, and then he fights Perfect Chaos in the beginning of like the 3D climactic battles. But I definitely think it's one of the weaker ones.
It is definitely people like to say this is like the franchise original sin for like how the 3D games would be handled going forward for a while, with
the
Monster of the Week formula, which would become a very much thing for
and
a
it's
while.
and it's how they handle like the Supersonic, because they're always like, we have to end with a big battle of Supersonic, you know?
Yeah.
And that became the thing, and this is kind of like the prototype of that.
Because
I think the spectacle isn't really there, but I think as far as like the control, it's kind of better in some of the later ones, I think.
Yeah, the control's fine.
So
yeah,
apparently, because there are deleted voice lines from Tikal, apparently you were supposed to at one point be able to play as Supersonic in the levels.
Oh yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, I'd heard of that.
There's a cut line where Tikal says, if you collect 50 rings in a stage, you can become Supersonic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was going to be like when you finish the game, you could replay bits as
That would have been cool.
as Supersonic. Yeah,
You can hack it in via, I believe, Action Replay or the PC version, and it does work. So I don't know why probably because the game is held together barely as it is.
yeah. You can tell there was a little bit of like rush production with this one, but weirdly enough, I think it all comes together to be a perfectly fine Sonic game.
It is incredibly charming. It is
Yeah.
a perfect first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
That's nostalgic, but I do understand why a lot of people play it now and go, I don't see what the deal was.
Yeah, it's the issue both adventure games have, and I think is just time has not been very kind to them. You know, they're very much products of their time, but really that's what they needed to be. Like Sonic needed to come back and prove that he was just as cool as important as he ever was. And I think Adventure 1 does that. I think it succeeds. But if you compare it to, say, you know, the past Genesis games, it didn't age nearly as well as those did. But this was the era of 3D where a lot of games from this era did not age well at all. So it's not even that shocking. And you know, people have said the whole Sonic had a rough transition into 3D.
No, he didn't.
I disagree with that. I think as far as like that's bullshit. Like
it's revisionist history that modern people like to make.
Exactly.
Sonic's transition was not that bad.
Like crazy enough. Like you take Sonic Adventure, right, and place it against all the other big 3D platformers of its era, right? I think it stands out as one of the better ones. Like genuinely, like if you look at that, like the whole like the PS1 N64 era, right, that Dreamcast is like kind of attached to, and you look at all those 3D platformers compared to Adventure, like I think Adventure clears most of them. You know, like yes, Mario 64 is probably the better game, but I'd rather play Sonic Adventure. I think it's more interesting.
The only one I'd make an argument that is probably better is probably Rayman 2.
Yeah. Rayman transition to 3D was like really solidly.
Well, especially because Rayman 1, despite being a great game, is fucking impossible. So it's like
Rayman 1 is cool, but yeah, like the further in you get to that game, you're like, oh man, this is just like a bad Rystar.
That game did not need lives. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, it did not. But like you compare Sonic Adventure to like the Gex 3D games or Earthworm Jim 3D or fucking, I don't know, Mr. Bones, Croc, Bubsy 3D, like all these fucking mascot
Pac-Man.
3D. I mean, even Pac-Man World 1, I think is fine.
It's one of the better ones, yeah. But...
Yeah, but like if you compare Sonic Adventure to like most of those, and it's crazy to think people would say, "Oh, this is near the bottom of the pile." I'm like, I would not agree with that. I think like it could be better in a lot of ways, not even necessarily from a modern standpoint. I just think of its era standpoint, there are things that could have improved. But I think honestly, it's really not that bad. And if you're looking at the Dreamcast catalog, which is one of the best catalogs in gaming history, this is like in that, like, I would say top third, you know, like the really, like when you're starting to get to the really good stuff, I think Sonic Adventure sits right there with it. Yeah. What do you think, Jelly?
I mean, I didn't play a lot of Dreamcast games because again, I stole mine, so I didn't have a lot of games for it.
You never played Shenmue?
I didn't.
Oh, you need to play Shenmue.
I did not. Oh
Sailors.
boy. Okay.
Oh, please.
Go back and play a bunch of Dreamcast games.
Shenmue's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece in the same way
it.
Adventure is a masterpiece, kind of.
You know, there's some similarities there. There are, yeah.
But no, it holds up. Like, yeah, there are some flaws for sure, but it's still a game that I like picking up and I enjoy it as much as things that still come out now. And I still I know we moved from it, but a couple things popped up when we were talking about the end fight with Final Chaos that I thought of. The first one is in Fleetway, because Supersonic is evil. That was my first being shown Supersonic as a good guy. So when he turned into him and was good, I was like, what the fuck is going on? He's a villain. Why is he helping? I didn't understand. And then my favorite is at the end when you've beaten him, everyone's like, yay, Sonic, you did it, you saved Station Square, and it's just destroyed.
Yeah. We did it, Patrick.
Line.
We
Like,
saved the city.
Destroyed and underwater, and they're like, yeah, Sonic.
My favorite line
you
at the
saved
end
the city.
is Tails is like, and we all did it together, and it's like the city's fucking obliterated.
And it's like, no, you didn't.
I love the line too where they're like, but don't worry, everyone was conveniently evacuated. And I'm like, I saw that cutscene. There was people walking in the streets.
They had to throw that in because they realized, they're like, oh, wait a minute, this
The
doesn't
death
work.
count's crazy, and they're like, yay.
One point at the end that gets me every time, just because I'm like, what the fuck is this? When Perfect Chaos is there, like, and they're like just about to take him on, Eggman shows up with another egg carrier, and he's just like, I had this
egg carrier too.
I had this second egg carrier prepared just in case because I knew this would happen. And I'm just like,
and then Chaos instantly destroys it. So what was the point?
So stupid, but I love
blissfully unaware. You know, it was just it was the 90s, man. Right?
Oh yeah,
what a fucking time.
I love that. There are the little tiny moments in this game that are objectively bad, but I love them. Like, there's the famous scene after the first tornado section where the tornado gets blown up by the egg carrier, and we get that classic thing where it's like Sonic's like, "Yeah, we're falling." When it cuts,
I'll play with you next time.
Oh yeah, that's the greatest line. I'll play with you some other time.
And you're like, oh, easy now.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you 15 canonically?
They don't even know anymore, I swear. But one of the best parts is after that tornado scene, we cut to Sonic falling towards the beach, and it plays this Atari ass like sound.
I recognize that. I'm like,
and then it cuts and goes woo again.
And then it happens again when during Amy's final boss fight when Zero shows up out of nowhere. It's like that same sound.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And Sonic's eye turns into a slot machine briefly. Like it just like, and it's like, what?
Yeah. So any other thoughts on Adventure 1?
What's everyone's favorite level?
Chow Garden.
We'll save Chow Garden too.
I didn't bring up the Chow Garden here because I think
it's
it's
the whole time.
Well, it's kind of a shell of what it would be in 2, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Actual favorite level is Lost World.
No, oh yeah, that is an underrated level.
Despite the snake bullshit with the water.
Oh yeah,
that drags, but everything else.
Oh, that part is really fucking rough. Man. Jesus Christ.
It's so there's one section in that level that I love, even though it's literally a straight line. When Sonic's going through those weird like snake tunnels, that like the frame rate is so smooth there, and I'm like,
so
this
good.
looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was the one time they figured it out.
Yeah. I think Speed Highway, like just the sense of speed in that level. I get why it's the fan favorite. I think other than that, what's the theme park level name?
Oh, Twilight. No, Twinkle Park.
Twinkle Park.
Yeah,
I love Twinkle Park.
That was really fun.
Twinkle Park is good.
That's
like
one
I
of my
don't think
favorite
like
music
of the action stages, there's only like 8 of them, I think. But I think they're all really good. Like my favorite's probably Windy Valley. I was really
Windy Valley's really good.
Like all the different like modes it goes through where it's like, oh, you're going to the tornado. Now you're inside the tornado and you shoot out of it. And then, oh, it's nice. And then you have these really long, winding, like speed sections. And the way they integrate like having direct control and then turning a cinematic, I always thought was like really well done. You know, I'm a Windy Valley boy.
Nice.
But yes,
They're all correct answers. That's the beauty.
Yeah,
of the
but I don't think there's a bad action stage in the bunch. I really don't.
Yeah,
we
They're
should
all really good.
Other than maybe the egg carrier level, because fuck that level. But
It's the worst of the bunch, but I don't think it's terrible.
I just hate levels with giant bottomless pits below them, and I'm just like,
okay, that's fair.
There's a lot of Sonic stages with that.
I remember jumping into the pit in that level and being like, I know where the platform is, so I know I'll be fine. But I jumped too fast and it didn't load in, so I died.
Yep.
Oh, and then we forgot to mention when you fight Robotnik as Sonic. What does Robotnik love to say over and over and over again? Get a load of this. Get a load of this.
I do actually want to talk about the Eggman boss fight real quick.
Get a load of this. Get a load of this. Get a load of this.
I want to bring up the two Eggman fights, because the Egg Viper we'll get to, because that is
get a load of this.
Oof, that boss. I want to talk about the first Eggman fight though, like the first one in the game, right? With
in Mystic Ruin.
Yeah, because you can cheese that fight in 2 seconds if
yes,
you know what to do. If you
I could never do it right. I would always fuck it up. I could never get it right.
I've done it so many times. I'm just so used to it. Literally, the second that boss fight, the first hit, just mash the homing attack, and you just destroy him in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen people do it, but I just can't.
I've never done it.
Because you can do that, and then you can do the drunk Sonic glitch, where you
I've seen that.
You lose all your rings, and then you get hit right before his animation plays. So then Sonic is like, "I'll play with you some other time," as he's falling to the ground drunk.
I'll play with you.
The Egg Viper though, I hate that fight so much.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, man. Like I think as far as Sonic bosses go, it's not the worst one in the series, but like it stands out because the game doesn't have that many crazy boss fights. They're all fairly easy peasy, but this one just like decides to go ape shit for no reason.
I always think the one part in that fight that gets me every time is the right at the end when you think you're done, and Tikal's
and then he like breaks the platform you're on.
He does like the desperation attack, and Tikal's like, "Be careful, he's up to something."
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, he's gonna do something." It's like, "Okay, bitch, what? Like, tell me." And then
the first time I beat that boss, that happened to me, and I was so demoralized because I had to start from the beginning.
Yeah, get a load of this.
Some of the
see it's bad, but because I'd recently played through Sonic 4 Episode 1, that final boss fight with Eggman, where at the very end he does the exact same thing. He will slam to the ground and it'll rumble, and if you don't jump in time, the thing it'll stun you and you'll just fall and die. So you have to jump at the right time and get the last hit and then get the fuck out. And it's like, that is bullshit. And that's why that game I'll never get all 12 achievements. I have 11. I ain't getting that 12th one because
also
fuck that.
One of my favorite random things in this game, just because I think it's funny, because the whole adventure world is so like expansive. there's like these random ladder segments where you just have to climb ladders all over the place.
Yeah.
What gets me, all the characters are so slow climbing the ladder, except for Big, who fucking machines his way up there.
Yeah.
Like,
He makes that weird noise because they all make weird noises when they're climbing. So he's like speeding up the ladder, going ooh ooh.
yeah.
I went to ladder school.
It's just so uncanny because like this
Yeah.
big cat all of a sudden just like up the ladder.
Yeah. They had to
He
give him
also-
speed somewhere,
Well,
okay?
He's got that arm strength because he can pick
He
up a
does.
fucking
He
car.
holds rods all day.
You have to get into the sewers.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so now that's Sonic Adventure 1. So then 2 years later, it is Sonic's 10th birthday. And Sega's like, oh, we're going to make this a thing. You know, we're going to celebrate it, all that. The Dreamcast is secretly dying, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So what do? They release Sonic Adventure 2.
Sponsored by
Into-
Soap Shoes.
Sponsored by Soap Shoes in the year 2001. It did come out on the Dreamcast. Let's see. In North America, it was June 19th, 2001. So the Dreamcast had already been announced as dead at that point. It was announced, but some of the games that were still being made for it were still coming out through 2001. I think even in 2002, there's a couple
It was
Dreamcast
a
games that came
couple
out
in
at that
2002.
point. Yeah.
In Japan,
But-
it was up till 07 out of all.
Yeah.
Crazily enough.
Hey, Karuga got a really cool Dreamcast port. But yeah, it was June 19th in North America, June 23rd everywhere else. And then cut to the holiday time in 2001. And Sega was like, well, we're third party now. So we'll do this. Is this okay? Is this fine? They called it Battle because they were battling in their head if they wanted to put a Sega game on a Nintendo console.
They called it Battle because they revamped the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think this was the first Sega multiplat release, or the first non-Sega release.
Well,
This guy right here.
do you not count?
When they were dead.
Okay.
When they announced, I meant when they were going third party. I'm not counting Sonic Pocket Adventure, which is great. I'm not counting that. I'm counting when they went full third party and said no more consoles. We're just a software publishing whatever, right? Third party publisher. I think this was the first thing they did proper.
You'll have to check release dates. It's either that or Advance. They were very close.
Yeah, they were very close, but I think in both cases, I think just because of our age, we don't see it as that crazy. But like, this had to be fucking insane to see at the time.
Yeah.
Had to be. I mean, Jelly's a little bit older. Was this crazy to see at the time?
Yeah, it was. I was very happy. But yeah, it was like nuts.
I will say, I
Yeah.
think that's a much better cover than this, even though I do like this cover.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think that Adventure 2, I like that cover more because it's more like symbolic, right?
Yes.
But this one is cool because it has everybody.
It's so
and it
good.
is cool.
Like
Yeah.
I'll say, like,
And I do like the logo, like this Adventure 2 logo.
Love
I
the
don't
logo.
like the Adventure 1 logo. Like that's just a day
I
in
like
like
it, but it doesn't
that's ju-
feel Sonic.
Well,
yeah, it's a
I-
day in like Kid Pix 3D. This is like Sonic
That's
right here.
Yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
that kind of reminds me of the Sonic and Knuckles logo, like with the logos kind of.
Yeah, it's got that kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
it has that look to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a great logo.
I will say
Mhm.
though, I prefer this any day over this. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
hot
didn't get into
agree.
the DX that
well,
much.
well, DX came out after Battle, so we can maybe mention it at the end.
Yeah, but Sonic Adventure 2, it came out in 2001, celebration of Sonic's birthday,
10th
And-
anniversary game.
10th anniversary. Man, how time flies. And this game is much more beloved in the Sonic canon. I
This
think it
game
got
is
pretty
almost too beloved in the Sonic fandom.
Yeah, depending on who you ask, this game is kind of hailed as like the peak of the entire series. And I can understand why in some aspects. Like when it comes to this early 3D Sonic era, like Adventure 2 does so much more right than Adventure 1. I think it rights a lot of those wrongs that the first game had and creates a fairly solid, still pretty good Sonic game, even by today's standards. It has aged a bit, but not nearly as bad. The amount of glazing that this game gets has always rubbed me the wrong way because I think some of those people overlook certain things about the game. Like when I see tier lists and I see people not putting this game in S tier, giving it a tier above S and calling it the Sonic Adventure 2 tier. That's when I go, dude, you played this game to death when you were 7 and you fucking loved it. That's why you think that way. It is. It's a good game. It's a very good game. But honestly, coming out of it, I'm not as high on it as I was before. I'm not. This game actually went down, in my opinion, a little bit, but it's still a good game.
This game suffered right off the bat. My biggest complaint with this game is it suffers from some severe pacing issues.
Jelly's a little quiet now. Tell me about your Sonic Adventure 2
When
experience.
you're like, oh, the people who glaze it and put it in the highest tier, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm feeling personally attacked right now.
Oh no.
It is, you know, I agree that it's not the peak of Sonic video games. I think it's the peak of all video games. It's the best game ever made. No, I know a lot of it is nostalgia, but it is my favorite game of all time. I think when I compare it to other Sonic games, I'm like, okay, I get it. It's not perfect. Other games do things better, but when I compare it to Adventure that I loved so much, in my head, I don't know if you agree, I think it's like a perfect sequel.
Yes.
They fix everything. Everything's just better. Like, they get rid of the hub world, they streamline how the levels work, they keep everything good about it, like playing the different characters and like them having their own story, but it's streamlined. So you don't have this random dude fishing, as much as I love him. They're all like more
He gets run over by a
coherent.
truck now.
Yeah.
It says gun on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used Big Right in Sonic Adventure 2, like just hiding him in every level. I love it. I don't know, they do everything right. Like, my only complaint is that you should be flying around as Tails, but you get to do that in the
So-
Chow Garden.
A little backstory. Apparently, in early development, it was originally only supposed to be 4 playable characters.
Oh,
It was apparently going to be Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Eggman. And then at the last minute, they decided to expand them out to 3 and 3. So they added Rouge as a counterpart of Knuckles, and then this is the point of contention for a lot of people. They added Tails as the counterpart for Eggman. And I think out of all the gameplay styles, the one that gets the most flack is the Tails mech segments.
yeah.
I think everybody hates the Knuckles segments.
Do you think?
Well, to me,
That's the one I hear the most flack on.
Oh,
in
I
this
feel like
game.
people hate the mech ones more.
I don't think people hate the segments exactly because of what they are. I think it's more how they're handled in this game. The Tails and the mech, I think a lot of people were always like, it just doesn't make sense for him as a character.
Yeah.
No, I think it does actually.
Okay.
Because Tails is known for like, flying in the tornado and like building robots and doing all that other shit. Like, is it weird that he's in a mech the entire time? Yeah, but it's like he's known for doing that kind of techie stuff. So it is a stretch, but it's not like a crazy stretch as like people try to make it out to be. I would prefer if Tails played like Tails, of course. But I think him doing the mech thing, I'm like, it's fine. It's really not bad.
You can tell it was definitely an 11th hour kind of edition. Though.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But like this game to me doesn't necessarily feel as string together with duct tape as Adventure 1 is.
Yeah.
Like as Jelly said, it's much more refined, and they really improved on so many. Like they heard all the feedback from Adventure 1, and they're like, okay, how can we make Adventure 2 better? And I think for the most part, they do it so much better. But one thing about this game, and I think one of the reasons why this game gets so much love, this motherfucker right here, Shadow the Hedgehog, the grand debut. So they had tried to have Vegeta to Sonic's Goku with Knuckles. Didn't work out.
And then they realized
he's more of
Piccolo.
like, he's Piccolo. So we need a real fucking Vegeta. And we got two-toned ass emo boy.
I'm the coolest.
I'm the coolest. Chaos control.
I'm the coolest.
I just love Latinas, Sonic. Like it was the whole thing. And I feel like a lot of people really like Adventure 2 just because they like Shadow. Genuinely, I do.
This is Shadow's best written game. Pre-Shadow.
Shadow Generations, I think, has taken. I was going to say that's taken the mantle from this game, in my opinion.
That's what I was going to say. Pre-Shadow Generations, like,
yeah,
because his own game I love it, but oh my god.
The plot is it hurts my heart to think about the plot.
Also,
Too much.
also like I love David Humphries as Shadow. Like
he's a great Shadow.
He's got, I mean, I love Griffith's Shadow voice. Griffith did an amazing job. Humphries just has that weird inflection to every one of his lines that
and it fits Shadow's character. You know, he's a guy who would have weird inflections.
Faker, you're not even good enough to be my fake.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my fake. Chaos Control!
I love the way they talk over each other in the cutscenes, though. I love it so much.
Yeah. I didn't think you'd survive, Blue. I'll make you eat those words. Just so.
He's like, he's not even moving fast. He's using the Chaos Emerald. Or my name is Shadow.
also, like my favorite
and
thing
his
is
little skate shoes, his Heelys.
Also, in like the later versions, like the music just gets louder and louder. So like they're talking, it's like I can't hear you over the rock music. The other new voice we had mentioned, well, besides Connor Bringus's Tails, but there's not much to say there.
It's Tails.
Scott Dreer as Knuckles, I think, is a better voice, but he's also like showing no emotion throughout this entire game.
No, that's true. Actually, he's very like deadpan.
He perceives Knuckles as like a deadpan emotional character. I think there is some truth in that like he's maybe emotionally a little distant from like the traumatic shit that he's dealt with, but it's like there's something in there. He's not just deadpan.
Well, because
like deadpan isn't the same thing as like repressed. You know what I mean? I think Knuckles is more.
It's just different.
What the? A ghost?
What? A ghost?
That was pretty rough.
Yeah, not to rope in the movies, but like probably my biggest issue with the movies is that they play Knuckles purely as a comedic character, and it kind of bugs me because there's so much more to his character than that. Like Idris Elba does a great job, and I love some of the humorous stuff in there. I just wish they'd take him a little bit more seriously because I think he works better as like a straight laced character that you do joke with. But I think the movies kind of mess that up.
Well, that's been a problem with Knuckles for like years now, in all honesty.
Yeah, they've never really figured.
It's almost like a Flanderization, just make him a himbo more and more, and it's like he's a deep guy, he's smart.
It's funny, but after a while, it's like I get it, you know.
Yeah,
do something else with this guy.
The main reason I bring up Dreyer though is because like in Heroes. He is so expressive in Heroes, so it's like it must have just been a direction thing for this game.
Yeah.
And then the other new voice, we have to bring her up because she is one of the most prolific voice actresses probably in gaming, is Lanny Minella as Rouge the Bat, who is in so many games. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, this is also Rouge's debut.
It is, and
I love her.
Her model is so weird in this game. Like it is.
My model is flawless, and I will accept no criticism.
Hey, the Gooners are going to come after you if you criticize Rouge's fucking.
The way it moves is rigged so weird.
The password is Maria.
Rouge and Shadow have always been two really weird characters for me in the Sonic canon. Like, I've never quite. It took me a long time to really get Shadow. I never really got it. Like why people were so like in love with this character. It's like, oh, he's so great. I'm like, no, he's just kind of like a lame emo shithead that I saw all the time in middle school. I'm like, fuck this guy. He's not deep, you know? Though I think they've done a good job with Shadow over the years of fleshing out his character and giving him more things to do. And I think a combination of Shadow Generations and the Sonic 3 movie have turned me around. And I'm like, I get him now. I get it. Like, I think they've done good jobs with his characters, and in some ways rectifies the portrayal of him in this game a little bit for me.
True.
You know, like also he is kind of silly and weird, but I think in the replaying of it, I think it's like it all kind of comes together.
To me,
you know, it all kind of fits.
With Shadow, the way I've always thought about Shadow is because Shadow is actually my favorite Sonic character. I'm not gonna lie. In this game, I think the reason why he worked for me is he has a perfect character arc, like from start to finish. Like he ends on a really good note.
Yeah.
And then dies. Spoiler warning. For everyone knows he survives, but that's besides.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
This is one of those spoilers where it's like,
again, credit to the movie. The movie does rectify that.
But in a post-credit scene that a lot of people didn't see, and they were like,
exactly. But they can say they did the work. They can say they did it.
True.
So credit to them.
Because if Shadow had stayed dead here, I think it would have been a perfect character arc.
Agree.
Yeah, but
unfortunately,
they're not gonna fucking do that.
We had years of shit. What do we do with him now for like 4 games?
I think that was some of my issue with Shadow as well, is they would try to shoehorn him in to so many games, and he just didn't fit. Like, I don't think he fits in 06. Like, he has that whole Forces episode, which is okay, right? Like, the times they would try to shove him in, I don't get it. Like, people liked him, sure, and that's probably why they would do it, but again, it would just kind of hurt me because I'm like, they're not really catering anything to Shadow.
So,
but again, Shadow,
arc. There was only ever down from there.
This is
and Shadow Generations is like the first time they tackle that arc and try to do like a proper follow up to it, and I think that's why that worked.
So this is an interesting comparison, and I kind of hear me out here for a minute. Two characters that I think are kind of intertwined in this kind of like they got really popular and then they got solo games that sucked. Debatably, Shadow is going to be its own episode at some point, I swear. But
God damn it!
Comparing Shadow to Vincent from Final Fantasy VII, like they were characters that got really popular in the fan bases.
I can see it.
And then they both got solo games later that kind of ruined the perception of them.
That's Dirge of Cerberus, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I could see that with Vincent with the whole Dirge of Cerberus thing. But I feel unlike Shadow, he hasn't had his rectifying moment yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't had his redemption arc.
Yeah, we haven't really got him in the remake yet.
Could you imagine they tried to do Dirge of Cerberus in the FF7 remake shit? Could you imagine? It probably wouldn't be terrible.
I mean, I don't really like remake that much, but that's for another.
Yeah. I'll play it one of these days and let you know. Yeah,
back to Sonic though.
but Rouge. Yeah, Rouge. She's like the Lola Bunny of this fucking series, really. Like, you know why she's there. We all know why she's there. People can like her just fine, but it doesn't work for me. I get the ick. God damn it. I just something about it just doesn't work for me. So I just kind of it works for a lot of people. That's fine with me. But Rouge is another character that I think they used for quite a bit and then kind of stopped. And I think they brought her back. She's in Frontiers, I think. I don't know.
She works as a foil for Shadow a lot now.
Yes, I think
I like her dynamic with Shadow a lot. That's what.
Yes, that's where she works best for me. Yeah.
Which is funny because in this game they have a terrible relationship.
Oh yeah,
it's like he does not like her at all in this game, and I'm like, damn, we've come so far.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, do we want to talk about the plot of Sonic Adventure 2? It's much more concise than Adventure 1 is.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Sort of.
So super fan Jelly, describe the plot of Sonic Adventure 2 for me.
Oh, the plot of Sonic Adventure 2. Okay. Sonic's been arrested. We don't know what for. It could be anything. It could be murder. It could be manslaughter. We don't know. It could be
he stole a bunch of chili dogs.
He stole a bunch of chili dogs. He comes out of the plane. It's actually kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
After City Escape. And then he goes to prison more than once.
Yeah, because he gets kidnapped. He gets caught again after City Escape, I believe.
Yeah, and then he ends up like getting broken out by Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
because we get that classic line of if I let you out, will you go on a date with me? He's like, no. I thought you had you that time, and she lets him out anyways. It's
like, damn, Amy, you really had him. Yeah,
female,
Sonic
a femcell.
Prison.
If I tell you, will you marry me?
No way.
I thought I had you this time.
Because they keep framing him for Shadow's crimes, even though they're literally just both hedgehogs.
They don't look alike at all.
Yeah, that's a whole plot point. Is that like people are confusing Sonic with Shadow?
Yeah, even Amy.
Yeah, which that I love that when like Amy's like hugging Shadow and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, I found you, and it's like,
He's
whoa,
like,
who the fuck are you?
Oh, ew.
I love that they make that
Which
a
is
running
cute.
joke throughout the series.
Yeah,
I
so
like that
stupid.
too.
Yeah, doesn't she
Yeah.
do it with Silver too?
She does it
Like
to Silver,
later?
and then
Oh my
the best
god,
one is
Amy.
she does it to Werehog Sonic, but then she's like, that's the one where she's like, oh, sorry, and then just walks off, and
She
he's
has
actually
glasses.
upset.
Actually Sonic.
And he's actually upset about it. Like that's like the best part.
Oh, that's
Well, I
kinda
think it's because he's
sad.
freaking out because he's the werehog and doesn't know any
Yeah.
better.
So they're breaking
Unleash-
Sonic out of prison because Shadow keeps committing crimes and Sonic keeps getting framed. Knuckles loses the Master Emerald again because Eggman like takes it and it gets shattered again because
Knuckles
plot
shatters it
device.
himself. He shatters
Knuckles
it himself.
shatters it himself. He does. I feel like he could have gone about that differently, but
And then
it's
I'm
fine.
sitting here going, isn't that gonna free chaos? Like
That's a good point, actually. And then they need to track down the Chaos Emerald so they can put it in the big machine that'll piss on the moon.
oh yeah, the moon that's constant.
Um,
Still apparently canonically broken according to Azuka.
and Shadow like misconstrues some memories about how like he should kill everyone on Earth or something.
Maria.
For Maria.
Maria.
For Maria. And then a big lizard like shoves a spaceship up his ass.
Yep.
Yeah, the bio lizard.
Sonic and Shadow like jack off together.
they do. I love
They
that
do?
gif so much.
Literally, like the emeralds float above them, and then they turn to each other and start going.
Like,
They're like, check out the shake weight.
yeah, but like they both straight up Dark Side Phil like and go like like at
Yeah.
the end too.
They like jack off and then like do a big cum together, and then they beat up the lizard.
Yep.
And
They
like
live
so
and
Shadow
learn.
dies, and it's perfect.
Live and learn, right?
It is the story is surprisingly it's solid. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
high art by any means.
Yeah, I
No.
just described it super badly. It is a good story.
It's handled a lot better than one, but I think that's
Mhm.
because they don't do all that fractured multiple characters, multiple
Yeah.
viewpoint
Yeah, it's a
things.
lot
They're
more
just like,
cohesive.
yeah, they're like, here's what happens. And because instead of playing as all 6 characters individually, you have like Team Sonic and then Team Shadow,
Dark.
basically.
Team Dark.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
So, yeah, and so for Sonic stuff, you are Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles for their various gameplay. And then for the Team Dark or Team Shadow, it's Shadow, Rouge, and Eggman. And
only
both
canonical
of the
time you can
stories are
play as
happening
Eggman.
concurrently. Yeah, it's the only time we ever play as Eggman officially, which is really cool. I mean, there are certain things that are like not super accurate, like when certain characters fight each other, it's like, oh, when you're playing as Tails, you beat Robotnik. When you're Robotnik, you beat Tails, like that kind of thing. But they treat it a lot better here
They
in Adventure 2.
write around it to make it work regardless of
Yeah.
the point of view.
Exactly. But
Because
yeah, it all
what's-
kind of comes together at the end.
It's really cool, literally. They, what's cool is though, right at the start of the game, you get to choose either Team Sonic or Team Dark.
Yes.
And what's cool is it doesn't matter which way you pick. 'Cause
Yeah,
get the
you can
final
go
story.
straight into Dark and just completely ignore Sonic, which is cool.
I have to say
Yeah.
too, I did that for my playthrough this time, and I finally got to discover. So at the end of each team's playthrough, you get this advertisement for the next team you're gonna play, and you almost always see the one for Team Dark. The one for Team Sonic is amazing. Like
It's
it
so
literally, it's
good.
like Sonic.
I've never
has
seen
been
it.
It's like that edgy voice, like Sonic has been arrested. Everything is in chaos. It's like, is this the end? Goodbye, Sonic. Forever. It is so dramatic.
for no reason. Like sad piano music playing at the end. It's like, does Sonic die?
It's so dramatic. It is so dramatic, and then you go right.
I gotta
into-
look that up now.
Like, watch it.
Yeah, and
afterwards,
then
it
you're
is
like, oh
hilarious.
wow, I need to check that out. You go to the story, and it's just him like, yeah, like,
I'm
Yeah,
out of
no-
here.
No in-flight movie. What is this?
Sonic the Hedgehog was arrested. The adventure for truth leads to the incidents that shock the entire world. The story takes our hero Sonic from the Earth and into outer space. Sonic Adventure 2, Hero Side Story. Farewell, Sonic. forever.
So let's we should talk about the soundtrack for this.
Yes. So this game is very iconic, as we've mentioned, right? And I think one of the most iconic aspects of the game is the music.
One thing right off the bat, Jun Senoi in this game, rather than being like uber random all over the place, he instead decided to focus each character had a distinct style.
Yes.
And
that was the right move to go. But yeah, like City Escape is just an absolutely iconic piece of music, you know. I think most people know it even if they've never played this game.
Yeah.
You know. And that clever thing they do when they start when you start the level, you know, you hear that slap bass line, and then when Sonic hits the ground is when the song kicks in.
Yep.
You know, that beautiful timing. And yeah, the City Escape it's much like Emerald Coast and Adventure 1, but I think it's handled better, even though I don't like it as much as Emerald Coast. Like crazy enough, when I first played City Escape as a level, I was like, am I crazy or is this level not good? Am I crazy here? I replayed it like half a dozen times, trying to get all the emblems and the ranks and everything, and I grew to appreciate it, you know? But it's like Emerald Coast does a better job of inserting you in to Sonic Adventure more than 2, because you don't do that type of gameplay throughout the rest of Sonic's thing, the skiing down the hills and everything.
That's the key moment in Adventure 2 that I think, well, not Adventure 2, in City Escape that I think makes it a little odd. It's that opening snowboarding segment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, the snowboarding controls aren't the best.
No, they're not.
They're kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like Adventure 1s were better. But they're not unplayable. Like you can get through it.
No. But as we said, the music of City Escape, right? Because we were talking about the music, is fantastic. It's an iconic piece of music. I love it to death.
It's so ingrained into that level that, like, in Generations, when they brought City Escape back, Generations has this really cool feature where you can change the level music for every stage to like whatever you want in the game's list of songs.
Yep.
City Escape is like the only level I never change the music because it's just wrong without it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You need it.
You need a City Escape from the City. Like it is
a
perfect track. And it's cool because it brings back Tony Harnell and Ted Poley. Ted Poley sings the majority of the song. Tony Harnell kind of does the backing vocals.
Yeah.
For this version of the song anyways. But that might be one of the greatest opening level tracks, I think, of all time.
Yeah, like even if I'm still not the biggest fan of City Escape as a level, I think it's like one of the strongest openings a Sonic game has ever had. And the music, I think, plays perfectly into that, you know? And then from there, just trying to think of other like highlights that I really enjoy.
Throw It All Away. Shadow's theme is very interesting.
That one's so good.
I unironically listen to that song all the time.
The song that stuck out to me was the Shadow track in the White Jungle stage.
Yes.
Oh,
that heavy drum and bass. Oh my fucking god.
I love that all of his tracks are like industrial. What is the name of this?
Well, and that song, if you listen to weird vocal things, I think it's meant to be like Shadow's different like emotions or personalities clashing with each other.
True Story, the Sonic versus Shadow song. I love that song so much.
That's a great song. Trying to think what else stands out because
the Knuckles raps.
Pumpkin Hill, where this is the game where they're like, okay, Sonic is just black. We're just gonna find some random rapper, pull him in, and be like, hey, can you rap about getting to finding emeralds? And he went, bet, homie, I got it. And then he lays down genuine fire. Like it's so good.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep.
Hunted P is the name.
He didn't do much after this, I don't think.
He went to jail.
That
was a thing. He did get out.
Do you think he mentioned in jail that was like, oh, I rap Pumpkin Hill, and everyone's like, what?
Well, there was petitions to get him freed, and it was all Sonic fans, so that tells you enough right there. He did get out. He got out eventually. I don't know what he's done since, but
Hopefully keeping out of trouble. I hope.
I hope so. One thing too I love about the raps is they were all composed by future Sonic music legend Tomio Otani.
Yeah. Yeah, he really fucking shows up on this game for sure.
This was
like everybody associates it with Senaway because of all the Crush 40 butt rock stuff, and that's great. But yeah, like Otani just goddamn man, he's killing it all over this.
This was the first game that really introduced like the core people that would be famous for future Sonic sound. Because we got like Tomio Otani does a whole bunch of stuff. Kenichi Tokoi does a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yep.
Like a whole lot of like the big Sonic composers going forward. The Knuckles raps are unironically amazing. Though.
Yeah. Again, they work in the same way that all the Crush 40 tracks do, and that is it's not being half-assed. This guy, he's just like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. Maybe he's a Sonic fan. It's possible. You know, Sonic has a following in the Black community, so maybe he played the games and was like, I want to do this, you know, and put it through. And props to him, man.
I want to.
It's great.
So the song titles for the Knuckles raps are amazing.
Ghost Pumpkin Soup.
Yep, a Ghost Pumpkin Soup. Deeper. Dive into the mellow. Kick the rock. Space Trip Steps, and then the remix version of Unknown from ME.
Yeah.
Is it Space Trip Steps? Is that a Meteorhead? I love that track.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't have rapping, but I really like the track for Meteorhead.
I think Dive Into the Mellow is like the Death Chamber song.
I think so.
Oh, maybe. Even that Aquatic Mine?
I think that one's deeper.
Oh no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
no, deeper's Death Chamber because I just looked at the lyrics and there's immediately Death Chamber.
Like really, I think the only parts of the soundtrack that aren't as good are the Tails Eggman stages.
The Eggman stages, they're okay because
those tunes are fine, but again, it's like they just don't stand out. You know what I mean?
The whole track is a banger, but I couldn't tell you any others that I love.
Yeah,
I think. Obviously.
I think it's just like the Sonic Shadow songs are just like really fucking good the whole way through, and then the Knuckles Rouge, the Rouge tunes, I don't even really remember that much.
They're fine. They really suit her, but they're not like stand out.
They fit her levels, but I could not remember.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah. Like even if they're not super great, they do a much better job at fitting the characters' profiles and personalities.
Yeah.
Which I think was the right way to go.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
What's interesting, we had briefly mentioned it, Eggman's theme is iconic in this game.
So good.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
MAN, performed by Paul Shortino.
What a man.
So he's actually kind of interesting because he was originally the lead singer of the hair metal band from the 80s, Rough Cut, whose guitar player was later one of the guitar players in the band Orgy, Julian K. We got some Sonic lore there because Julian K later did Sonic music.
Yep.
But Paul Shortino also was famously Duke Flame from This Is Spinal Tap, the rival singer. So
yep,
there's that a little more lore there.
I love how everything comes together, man. It's great.
But I love his performance on Eggman because it's so extra for no reason. I love the bass in that song because it's so just like so like stupid, like, but it's great.
And then speaking of come together, we have to talk about the song. I think this is the song from the game, Live and Learn.
This is the song that made Crush 40.
Like this is like, if anything, it's like the final boss music, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy too.
It's
because
perfect, man.
This was like the last game where the main theme was the final theme as well. Because in all the future games, they'd have an opening theme and then a closing song. They would do their two songs per game.
Yeah, which was cool when they do that. But Live and Learn, I think it's so good. Like That's what that's what everyone took away from this fucking game was live and learn.
When-
To that in the Sonic 3 movie, when live and learn showed up, everybody creams their fucking pants.
When I heard that acoustic like little riff of it at the start, I was literally the friggin'
The Leo meme.
the
Yeah.
Leo meme. Like I was like it's there.
Exactly. You know, it's a shame that in the movie they don't use it more, or just straight up just put the original version on there while they're just fucking around.
Another infamous Sonic X moment in the Japanese version of Sonic X for that fight scene. They play Live and Learn, and they took it out of the 4Kids dub, and it still pisses everyone off to this day.
Oh, I didn't know they
Was
did
it a
that.
rights thing?
No, it's just 4Kids being 4Kids.
Oh, come on, man.
Because 4Kids would just do that. They'd take out music in places, and anyways.
Maybe they thought it was too edgy. And it's like, come on, this is Sonic we're talking about.
I mean, as we've learned from the really random Johnny Giueli lawsuit that was happened recently, Sega owns the rights to these songs. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's he still owns the lyrics, and he has like the original master recording or something. So, and all he wants is like $1 million in royalties. Like, if that's all he's asking, it's like, just give it to him.
Yeah, hand it over.
I know.
Because with this lawsuit, prevent Live and Learn from showing up in future things.
It's got to be weird.
Much like the whole infamous Michael Jackson Sonic 3 conundrum. I don't think it's as deep as that, but would Sega be like, oh, if Joelly's going to be this guy, then we're just not going to use Live and Learn anymore. And then people would cry out, be like, no, bring it back.
Well, especially because Jun Sonoy still works for Sega, so that's already a kind of bit of a thing there too. Because Crush 40 is still a band, so
yeah. So I don't know how that whole thing's going. I hope they figure it out because
it's because I know like the way it works with Sega is if you write a song for a Sonic game, apparently it becomes property of Sega. That's why when Shadow came out, the original theme for Shadow was supposed to be a song called Who I Am by a band called Magnify. And they didn't, that song is one of Magnify's best songs, and they didn't want to give it up to Sega, so they ended up pulling it from the intro and they wrote All Hail Shadow instead. And then I Am All of Me was used as the replacement song. But if you listen to that song, it syncs up perfectly with the opening, and it's like, I see it.
Yeah. Maybe the whole like Sega owns it could be part of the whole like controversy with the Genesis Sonic music, because Sonic 1 and 2 were done by Masato Nakamura,
and he owns the rights to those.
I was gonna say he owns those outright, because the CD reissue of them, which I have over there, like it's credited to him. You know, like he's getting all the royalties from that, which is, you also get to hear his like demo versions of the tunes, which is kind of cool. It's weird hearing like Green Hill with like proper instrumentation. It sounds weird, but it's like, oh, that's cool.
I think that's actually the reason why Sega is like this with the music, is because they lost the first two Sonic games. Like they lost the iconic Sonic theme, the they can't use that. Yeah,
no, they still use it.
They still use it, but they have to pay him every time.
Yeah,
they
don't want to do that. And then, of course, the whole Sonic 3 controversy with Michael Jackson, his crew working on some of it, and it's like it's still debated what they worked on and what they didn't work on. So that's why I think the whole thing with that was when MJ was still alive, there was maybe like a gentleman's agreement, because they would re-release Sonic 3 intact when he was still around. So I'm thinking maybe they had like a handshake deal. But then when MJ passed away, that's when things got muddied, because that's when people who worked with MJ at the time, people would ask them about it and they'd say, oh, we didn't get any credit or royalties, and they were going to like threaten to sue Sega. Like they made it publicly known. And so that's when Sega stopped releasing it for a long time. And then when they did Origins, they just took the old tracks.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you find old prototypes of Sonic 3, those tracks are in the game, like the original version of Sonic 3, but Genesis-fied. So it says to me they brought them in later to rework some of them. So like that old version of Ice Cap and Carnival Night, like that's what was originally going to be the songs, you know? So it again, it's a weird, muddy history, but that's probably why they do that now with the music, because they don't want to deal with that bullshit, which I don't blame them for.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because anytime they want to use Green Hill, they have to pay him, basically. So it's
and I'm sure he's fine with that. I mean, it's not like he needs the money. Dreams Come True is one of the most popular Japanese bands of all time. Like, what Sonic song of his became their song Sweet Sweet? Was it the ending of 2 or something?
Dreams of an Absolution? No, I'm thinking of
No,
it's
because
Sweet.
the song they do is called "Sweet, Sweet, Sweet," but it's taken from a Sonic song.
I believe it
I
is the
forget-
ending. It's the ending to Sonic 2. Yeah, that iconic.
Yeah, which is great. And yeah, and Live and Learn is great. It's a completely different song. Like I normally don't like this kind of butt rocky music.
I mean, I'm all over that, so it's like...
but for Sonic, it just works. It just makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's why I let the flag fly when I play this game. It's fun.
I have the original Crush 40 CD, not the Sons of Angels, the later re-release with Live and Learn in it. It is so weird hearing that on an old CD.
Yeah, and it's just like the full version. Like nothing's different.
Well, it's interesting because that CD is... So there's the Sons of Angels Thrill of the Feel CD, which is their debut album. And then they later did a Crush 40 self-titled, which is the same album, but they cut all the instrumental tracks and they added Live and Learn, Escape from the City, and It Doesn't Matter, even though the later two aren't Crush 40 songs. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I have all the Crush 40 CDs because I'm like a nerd like that.
Nice.
That fits. So what would be your favorite tracks from this, Jelly?
My favorite tracks, other than Pumpkin Hill, I'm sorry, A Ghost Pumpkin Soup, obviously. My favorite, you know what's underrated and like one of my favorites is the theme that plays when you fight the bio lizard as Shadow.
That is a really
that
cool
is a good song.
That's
That is a really good
banger,
song.
right? I never
Yeah.
heard people talk about it, but it's so catchy. I love that song.
Shadow's music in general was weirdly underrated.
Yeah, honestly, I think Shadow has the best like tunes of any character in the game. Really.
Yeah.
Like the consistency and like the underground like hard stuff that they do for him is just it fits his character. As I'd said before, the White Jungle theme is like so good. I love that track so much. I just like drum and bass and jungle music, so it just kind of fits.
One song that like I think is really underrated and never gets talked about. It's in one of the most also like kind of overlooked levels in the game. One of the Sonic stages, I'm forgetting. It's the pyramid-ish kind of stage later on.
Oh, that song's so good.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of that stage, but I know what you're talking about.
It's like the one where you fight gammas for some reason.
Yeah.
There's just a whole bunch of him there.
There's a lot of those really quick, like kind of tunnel, kind of F-Zero-ish kind of
I think
moments.
it's called Pyramid Cave. I think it's Pyramid Cave.
Maybe it is Pyramid Cave.
I think
That
it is.
sounds
Yeah, that
right.
track's so good. That track's amazing.
I love that guitar riff so much because it's like do 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 do, and it's got like a really exactly.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's got like this really fun bridge in the middle with like this weird like keyboard thing that's almost like seaside-ish sounding.
A little bit, yeah.
And one of the things that's better than 1, like we said, is the fact that the levels in 1 were too short, whereas in 2, it's like that song, you get to hear the whole thing because it's a long level.
That's one thing I will give Adventure 2 for at least the Sonic and Shadow stages. They are the perfect length.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's part of why the music became more iconic because you really got to sit in and enjoy those tunes.
Yeah, you get to
and
hear
really
the
appreciate
whole
them for
thing
what
and
they
absorb
are.
it.
Yeah. So we'll get into the stages then, right? So the Sonic and Shadow stages, they are the most beloved stages, right? All crazy speed. Like I think Adventure 1 in some cases is lacking that really good speed, but Adventure 2 really kicks that up. Much like Sonic 2, it really leans harder into the speed, and you get that much greater sense of speed. And I think Sonic and Shadow control better as well. I think they feel better than they did in Adventure 1, a lot less floaty.
I will say the only thing in Adventure 1 I think is better is the spin dash because it's so instantaneous in Adventure 1.
Yes, I do not like the spin dash in 2. It's kind of useless because
it still has true
and plus there's so
momentum to
many
it,
but there's so many like little speed rails, right?
Oh, yeah,
Speed bumps.
This was the start.
That
of
like you
booster
don't need it.
hell.
Yeah, like the boost formula wasn't there yet, but you could tell they were thinking about it.
Well, because this is when we were starting to get what the fans like to call speed booster hell, where like they just were throwing speed boosters everywhere.
It's like, I get it. You don't have to do 5 of them. You don't go any faster. You know,
it's like that one stage in Sonic 4 Episode 2 where it's just like 7 of them in a row. And it's like it's like okay.
Oh god. But as I was saying, like these stages are great. They're much improved from Adventure 1, but weirdly enough, you said the length. In a lot of cases, I think they're a little too long.
The later ones,
you can't have
like
a good thing.
especially some of the later ones. Like you'll average like 7-8 minutes in the level, and I'm like, you trim like 3 minutes out of that. Like I think like 5 minutes is like the nice happy medium for 3D Sonic stages. I think
Pyramid Cave is perfectly length. The jungle stages are perfectly length.
Like I think City Escape is a fine length. But that like some of those ending bits where you're in space and you're grinding on the rails and
Gravity, and like Crazy Gadget and Final Rush with Shadow and spinning cylinders. Hate that.
Like credit to Sega for being ahead of their time with essentially Mario Galaxy. Like they were kind of attempting something like that, but
the Dreamcast clearly wasn't ready.
It just didn't work. And those bits where you're like grinding on the rails in space, I'm just like, this fucking sucks. Like
I remember
the rail grinding. I guess like the first time they really introduce it. But like I don't like the rail grinding in this game at all.
They tried to make it an actual mechanic in this game where it's like you have to kind of balance to make it work. I could never get it right.
And your momentum just dies immediately. Like you just cannot. Like there were so many times I would like be going at a good pace and then I jump on a rail and my momentum would just die completely. And I'm like, I hate this. And then, as I said in the space bit with all the rails, you have to use them to traverse. And there'd be so many times where, like, say you're trying to go up, right? And like I didn't hit like the bumper or the speed fast enough, so I go. Like Adventure 2 has such a higher margin of error than Adventure 1, right? Like it has a higher skill floor, which I think is perfectly fine. I wouldn't say it's a hard game. It's harder than the first game. But some of that challenge to me isn't genuine challenge. It's just them not really figuring out the like their physics engine. It just kind of clashes with what they're trying to do, I think. And later Sonic games, I think, would fix some of those problems. Like you don't get those weird, like, I fucked it up somehow. I don't know what I did, right? Like some of the later ones would more like, it's close enough. You're good. Just keep going, kid.
This was the start of the heavily scripting where they would script a lot of segments of the levels.
But they don't script enough.
Well, because they were still trying to keep the momentum in, because this game still has momentum. Like if you roll into a ball, Sonic will still gain speed.
Yeah,
which is
I think overall it feels better than Adventure 1. It does. Like Sonic doesn't feel weirdly floaty. I think the homing attack, it's used a lot more in this game, but I think it's better. You
can still jump
even though there were so many
though.
times there would be so many times where I would be on an enemy to do a homing attack and Sonic wouldn't home. He would just fly off and die. I'd be like, fuck you, dude.
One of my favorite moments of all time is the end of Shadow's Rail Canyon level. They put the little ending ring because this game got because we didn't mention Adventure 1 still uses capsules.
Yeah. For some reason.
This game introduced the ending rings for whatever reason, which makes more sense for 3D. You don't have to aim
why does City Escape's ring? Why is it off to the side? When all the others are straight ahead, that one is like, oh no, you gotta like go over to the left.
The hope of people trying to get the emblem.
I thought that was so stupid.
The
truck.
I was gonna say though, for Rail Canyon, why is Shadows perched up on this fucking thing that's super easy to miss?
Yeah, it's a bit evil.
Yeah.
I missed it on this most recent playthrough and flew off into the canyon. And I was like,
I almost missed it. I thought I missed it, but I didn't.
Well, one time I was trying to be cool, like style points. I tried to spin dash into it and just fucking went through it. I was like,
no.
I was like, I guess that doesn't work.
I'm the coolest.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Maria.
I failed you, Maria. again, I think they're really good. It's just, I think with Adventure 1, like pretty early on, it arrives at like a decent level of quality, and then it just kind of coasts through the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of stays at that. Like it's perfectly fine. Adventure 2 is this a goddamn loop-de-loop. Like its highs are great. You know, like when it works, it's like I fucking love this game. And then there are its lows where I'm like, I fucking despise this game. Like it brought the emotions out in me. It really did.
So I will say this also is a game that introduced a mechanic that was in Adventure 1, but Adventure 1 it's so fucking useless. The Lightspeed dash.
Yes, it is in the first game. We didn't really mention it because it just kind of sucks.
Because you have to charge
go.
it, or you can get the ring, so it's more like ready, go.
Yeah. And here it's just you just have it.
You tap the button.
So much better.
You just tap the button.
It's a new. I hate it because they really didn't keep up with it in future games. But in this game, where the levels that use it, it's so fun to like you see that chain of rings and you're like, ooh, and he just like flies across it.
It feels like in Adventure 1, they like when you first get it, they're like, oh, here's the cool things you could do with it. But then by the end of the game, they don't really let you do anything with it. They kind of give up on it.
You use it like twice.
And like
and then that's
is,
it.
Like,
they just drop it off.
Charge attack that never gets used.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he
You
had
get
to
to kill this
attack.
one single monkey.
I 100%ed Adventure 1 and got all the power-ups, and they are almost all useless.
Yeah, they are padding.
And when I say
again, it reminds me of Mario 64 with all the different caps that Mario has. You know, they're more useful, but also I think a lot of the caps in 64 are completely useless too.
What's really funny though is Adventure 2 has even more of them, and some of them are some of them are very useful,
It
but
has
a lot of them
one
are.
in every single level. There is a power up.
And
every level.
Knuckles is the best because by the end of the game, he's got so much fucking shit on him. Like
he looks like an OC.
he's got his stupid gloves, his
DeviantArt,
his necklace thing, and I'm just like,
oh,
it's that Sonic short. It's like you have a spinal condition from carrying too much junk. You have a tombstone. And it's like, okay.
That's crazy, man. But for the most part, you don't really need them to complete the levels as well.
No,
some are necessary, but a lot. I'd say like half you need.
Lightspeed dash is necessary. I think there's Sonic has some weird roll kick that you need once.
That,
somersault.
Like you can like get under like small little gaps, but it never feels right. It always feels like you're glitching the game when you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and he also had the bounce bracelet, which actually is kind of useful.
Oh, the bounce bracelet.
That's
I love
cool.
the bounce, especially in like that final like gauntlet kind of section.
Yes.
But Sonic and Shadow.
The air necklace, which is also extremely useful.
Mm-hmm. But as I was saying, we're moving to the Knuckles Roo stages, the infamous go get the rings, go get the emeralds, kids. You know, listen to these hip hop beats. You know,
the fighting
hip hop beats, the treasure hunt too. And yeah, I always liked them. I know people always hated them, but I always thought they were fine. I could see why people don't like them because they're annoying in a lot of, especially some of the later ones. Like I forget the name of it, but it's the stage where you have to constantly change the level of the water.
Aquatic Mine.
Aquatic Mine is a dog shit level
because that's where you find his air necklace, and to get the air necklace, you have to go through this gauntlet where you have just enough air to get to it. But once you get it, then you can breathe infinitely.
Like you will start hearing the like death music.
I love they brought that back. And did they have to pay Nakamura for that?
No, that's probably, but
he came up with it.
It's in Adventure 1 too, for like if you actually take the time to try and drown Sonic.
Oh yeah,
you can drown him in the pool.
Yeah, you can.
Several codes.
Why not, right? But I in some ways, like I think gameplay wise, the Knuckle and Roo stages feel perfectly fine. You know, like the gliding around, digging, and all that stuff.
I love the sounds Knuckles makes in this game. Like, like what the fuck is he doing?
Nothing. No. You know, but I think the issue with those stages is that the levels are just so big and expansive. I think almost a little too much. That like especially the stages where I know you do it as Rouge. I can't remember if you do it as Knuckles. It's the one where it's like all like the little floating like planets that you have to like again like Mario Galaxy, like you have to jump to them to change the gravity and like
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Rouge. And I don't mind the size of that. It's just the gravity bullshit again with like Sonic and Shadow that I don't like.
Rouge is notable because it has like the galaxy planet mechanic, which doesn't really work on the Dreamcast, but it is kind of cool. Knuckles is the thing about Knuckles that makes his infamous is his is just tall. Like the whole
his is just climbing up and up and up. There's no
and if you
gravity
fall, you're done.
Fall.
Like, do
Yeah.
the whole thing again. Yeah. And like
the
if
one-
you find the first emerald at the top and then the next one's at the bottom, it's like
Like I think the one Rouge stage I disliked the most was the one where you have a 5-minute time limit to get all of them.
The key one, because
that
Rouge
was
only
annoying.
collects
Security
emeralds for like.
hole.
I find it hilarious. Rouge only collects emeralds for like 2 stages, and then the rest it's like you gotta find card keys or keys. And it's like
Yeah. And I replayed that one with the time so many times because I just was like trying to streamline it as fast as I fucking could. And it's smaller than some of the other levels, but it's still a decent size. And again, because they randomize where the emeralds are, you know, you can never really get a nice path. And then like I remember the last one, it was hiding behind one of the doors. And I was like,
when it's behind the safe doors.
And I was like, how do I open the fucking door? And I had to look online. And someone's like, oh, it's like the button that's all the way over there. And then, you know, and I cleared it.
The timer would not be too bad if it wasn't for the fact that they could just be locked behind impenetrable safes that you then need to go all the way back for.
Like I think the Rouge ones are far worse than the Knuckles ones. In my opinion.
It's almost like her stages were added at the 11th hour or something.
Like Pumpkin Hill and all those like definitely feel much more like well properly designed.
Pumpkin Hill is
and they're fun. Pumpkin Hill's a fun stage. I like
it. It is. It's almost like it's Red Mountain, but like Halloween themed and better.
Orange Mountain.
I like it. Orange Mountain. I almost feel like, obviously not to the extent of like Heroes, which they actually did it on purpose, but I almost feel like Team Dark is just harder in general than Hero. Because you look at the counterpart, you get stuff like Pumpkin Hill, which is like Uwu Pumpkin flying around, and then you have Security Hall, and then, you know, Final. They're both Final something, aren't they? Final Rush and Final Chase. Whereas like Shadow has the gravity cylinders, where Sonic's just grinding on the rails, and it's like. And Eggman, I feel like, has much harder mechanics and Tails a lot of the time too.
Eggman, I will say though, Eggman has one of the best mech levels, the one with like the anti-gravity, and it's like this is
Cosmic
super
Wall.
fun.
That was cool.
It is
that
so
cool.
fun. Like just like the super high jump, and you're like, I wish the whole time you played like this because it would have made these levels so much funner.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like Dark's levels are just a bit harder in general.
I think they are. And I guess that segues into the Tails Robotnik Eggman stages. They're fine. I think they're the least interesting of the three.
That's the
because,
thing about them.
Because again, it's very much just like hold the missile button, like scan everything, blow everything up, and just keep running. Yeah, it's basically just a blow everything up and keep going. It's shooty bang bang, basically. This is Call of Duty Tails.
It's weird that like I don't hate the Eggman levels as much as I just kind of find the Tails one's boring. I think it's just a mental thing because Eggman, this just feels right.
I think they're both. I think they're both kind of monotonous and boring, but that's just because they don't, for the most part, do that much interesting with like level design or gimmicks. Like Eggman, they do it here and there, and it helps.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like walk around and blow shit up, you know.
Their
And
power-
again, those stages are so much longer that I think it just after a while you're just like, am I done yet? Can I go
use it?
It was the only levels where I said to myself, am I done yet? Can I end this and move on? They weren't hard. They were the easiest levels of the bunch. Like I had barely any issue. Yeah, just a bit of a slog.
Going for 100% like hidden power-ups. The power-ups in the mech levels are so pointless. Like Eggman gets like this armor shield at one point, and it's like that's about it. Like they get guns.
They already have guns, so it doesn't.
It's kind of like it's like cool.
And I love their boss battles when they fight each other. You beat them in like 3 seconds.
They are
spam the rocket.
Just
Not
shoot.
dead.
It's like shoot, and then they just. Oh no! Tails beat me.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I kind of miss. I wish they had Scott Dreyer say "Oh no" just because it would have been funny, but like monotone, just "Oh no."
Oh no.
Although I will say, I still to this day struggle with that final fight that they have against each other. Because I feel like if you don't spam hit them fast enough, they
Oh,
do that huge laser, and I know what they're gonna do
yeah.
when they do it, but it gets me every time.
Same.
You
Yep.
know what fight? You know what
Yep.
fight that annoyed me? The final Rouge Knuckles fight over like that lava pit.
That
Oh,
can
when
be
you're Rouge fighting Knuckles.
Either side. They're
Yeah,
both-
See,
or.
Knuckles is like with Knuckles, I could
Okay.
kind of spam fighting Rouge. Rouge, her like attacks are terrible. Like
She's
they
got
barely
more
ever hit
kick base.
Knuckles.
It's
She's
just
more
punch
kick
but
based.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Punch with your legs.
Yeah, it's just punch but legs.
Yeah, I found her combat much more difficult than Knuckles, but you know.
I just laugh because it's supposed to be a bottomless pit, but then like if you actually fall, you get this like air boost that just kind of lifts you back up, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's great.
Like, all right, I guess this is.
But I think regardless of kind of the shortcomings of all the different play styles, I think it was much wise of them to limit it to just 3 kinds, right?
Yeah,
As opposed to
definitely.
Adventure where you had all the 6 different kinds. They cut it down to 3 to where they could focus more on like, okay, here's like the good Shadow stuff and then the good
Mhm.
Eggman stuff. Like they really were able to make levels and refine them for each specific character, which is a much
Yeah.
improvements. Especially as we said, no hub worlds, no BS like that. You just go level to level, and that's what I like.
We forgot about the one extra play style. The cars.
Oh yeah, Rouge's penis
Yeah,
car.
we got to talk about
Oh,
Rouge's
the Rouge
Nickelmobile.
penis car, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
And
Those levels
Tails
are.
in his mech chasing down the president.
Oh my god, that cutscene where they pop into his limo. Oh my god.
You know what
And then like you get to the end of the level, it's like, I did it. I found the president. Cool,
I love it.
Tails.
I love the Rouge one where you have to hunt down Tails, and then it's just him flying there at the end.
Yeah.
So good.
Fun voice actor fact: the voice of the president is the same voice actor who voiced Gamma.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's. I'll know what I think about that.
I know, me neither.
It's like, oh,
He made
interesting.
the robot so attractive sounding.
Well, if you want to hear another thing too,
But not the president.
Not the president.
He was also the voice of Frogger's friend in Frogger: The Great Quest. So
We don't talk about that game around here, okay?
oh, I'm nominating it for Game Club if I ever win one of these days.
Oh my god, you madman.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever tried to get the emblem for not hitting the walls in the driving segments?
I've 100% in
Nope.
Sonic Adventure 2 twice, so I have done that successfully twice, and I hated it.
We'll get to
You
it.
would never do it again, except when you do eventually.
I probably will do it again at some point. Yeah, I will.
It's okay.
We should probably talk about the final story.
Oh yeah. That final gauntlet where everything comes together, where it's like, it's like, Robotnik's evil grandfather is gonna blow shit up, and then Shadow's like, well, I guess I have to save everybody instead of kill everybody. And so yeah, they do that whole I think the gauntlet was kind of cool. The whole like you start as Tails and then you go to Eggman and then like you do everybody's like in one go, which I actually like that. I think it was handled really well.
I like this.
It's just that Knuckles section
if
can
you
go to
didn't
hell.
If you didn't get the air necklace,
It's like,
And I didn't.
You,
And I didn't.
When I
Yes,
heard
you
you, when you had
about it.
told me, and you said
Yeah.
you didn't get it, and you're like, "Oh, I'm doing Final Gauntlet." I'm like, "He hasn't got to the Knuckles part
no.
yet." I'm like, "He
Nope.
hasn't got to the Knuckles part yet."
It took me quite a few tries, but I did eventually
I'm very
get it
impressed
without the
that you did it
necklace.
without it.
It took a while, but I committed. I committed. to
I
it.
simply would
it-
have gone to get the necklace.
what helped was every time I would start it, I would try to get 100 rings immediately just to get a 1-up to save me. And then I learned where all of the air bubbles were and how
Wow.
sometimes the timing of the air bubbles was weird. Like there would be a time I would get an air bubble and then like right after it would start playing the music because I messed up the timing, I guess, in the game code. So I'd have to go get another one or else I would die. So, but I learned to time it like near fucking perfectly. I did it,
That's
man.
really impressive. The way I would just not do that and get the necklace.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have not. I get the air necklace every time now, so I'm at the
Same.
point where I'm pretty sure if I went and did it without it, I couldn't do it because I'm
Yeah.
just
Well,
so used
when
to
I
it.
when I eventually play it again, I'll make sure to get the air necklace, and I'll be like, I'm a stupid moron.
I mean, I get all the items just because I love all the characters looking like abominations by the end of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I never thought about that because I guess in Sonic, I'm just not used to exploration. I'm used to just kind of going around at the speed of sound.
Going
So I just kind of
fast.
blaze through. So I just kind of blaze through them, you know?
I will say one thing about the level progression is, like I mentioned, this game has pacing issues. There is like
A little bit, yeah.
particularly Team Sonic. Like there are points where like you'll do City Escape and you're like, this is awesome, and then you'll get like a Knuckles, Tails, and Knuckles level, and you're like, I just want to play Sonic. And then you get like 2 Sonic levels back to back, and you're like, this is awesome. But then you don't get another Sonic level forever. It is a weird.
Yeah, it would have made more sense if they somehow wrote it to be like Sonic Tails Knuckles, Sonic Tails Knuckles,
Yeah.
rather than like weird mishmash we ended up with.
I feel like they did that intentionally so that it wouldn't come off as repetitive. I think they wanted it to be have more of like a random vibe to it. But I do agree with you both. I think having more of that consistent, you know, between each character would have been better. I'm sure if you add it up, they all have roughly an equal amount of stages.
For the, I think it's pretty close. I just know like so many people always say like what that one Sonic segment where you do like the gun escape level and then the forest right after. Everyone's like, this is the best part of the game because it's just 2 Sonic levels back to back.
Yeah, I do love the forest stage. That is such an amazing
Really,
stage.
really good.
There is
Yeah.
some great like spin dash rolling in that level.
Mhm.
It is so fun. And
Yeah.
then we get the greatest boss fight ever right after the Sonic versus Shadow fight with the legendary I am the coolest.
The coolest.
Faker.
Faker.
Those I love David Humphries and Ryan Drummond's chemistry. Like they have
Yeah.
like such a great like rapport.
So what do we think of the ending gauntlet though?
Aside from the Knuckles scene, it's fine.
I like it a lot. I almost wish that it was split up in the sense that you could like take breaks between each character, like come back to it. But on the other side of that, I'm like, no, I kind of like the sense of urgency you get of having it all stitched together. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in 2 minds about that. But yeah, I really like it. I remember struggling a lot with the Tails and Eggman parts, not so much the Knuckles part because I always got the necklace. I remember the Sonic part was really fun and like because it
I
was
love that it ends with Shadow too, like perfectly.
yeah, it's so good. And like the Sonic bit is so enjoyable. It's like it feels like a reward if you got annoyed by like the Knuckles bit or Tails or Eggman or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I'm Sonic now. I've got to this cool bit, and then I would like die in a really stupid way and have to do it again. But
I love the like the cinematic way it ends, where like it ends with Shadow, and then Shadow goes right into the Bio Lizard fight.
yeah,
Like,
I love that.
That is an underrated fight, even though it is kind of a pain at times, just because the camera's a little janky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the camera's janky in both of these games.
Oh, but then and like
forgot
emblem
to mention
hunting
that camera's
stage is
awful.
a pain though, because once you've done it once, you're like, that was really cool. I don't want to do that again.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
especially right away. So emblem hunting is really annoying.
it's actually funny. That Bio Lizard fight, they brought it back in Sonic Generations 3DS, and it's literally the same fight, only because
Really?
well, but the difference is because that game is exclusively 2D. Shadow, well, you fight it as Sonic, which is a little weird, but Sonic is on a 2D plane, so it's actually easier because you don't have to deal with like the weird 3D moving back and forth.
Oh my god. I've never
Wow.
played 3DS Generations.
It's
No, me
it's
neither.
it's very dimps, but it's not the worst dimps thing ever.
So Sonic and Shadow, they come together, Live and Learn starts
they do.
playing. They pop all the Bio Lizard's pimples and he dies. and then Shadow's like, I guess I gotta go die, and then he just dies, I guess. And then they're like, wasn't that great? And everyone's like, yeah, that was great. I'll see you next time. And the credits roll.
I have to say the Supersonic fight, not the best in the series, but this is like the one of the few that I go back to. I'm like, this is fun. Like I enjoy this fight.
It's one of the best like ending segments in any Sonic game. For
Well,
me.
just because Live and Learn works so well as a final boss theme.
Absolutely.
And I love the whole trade-off thing, like where you do your segment as Sonic, and he's like, "All right, Shadow, now your turn." And then you swap over to the other side where it's implied while you're fighting, Sonic is going and finding rings.
I love that. Just like zzz, which honestly was really smart because you know, with the whole Sonic, you know, depleting rings thing, it was great that they got rid of it. So you could just focus on taking out the boss instead of doing the tedious shit, which can be a problem with some boss fights, even in the Sonic series, where you have to do the tedious shit, which breaks that cinematic immersion, baby. So they were able to find that, you know, right mixture of that. So
Well, there's a little trick there too that a lot of people don't know is because I know some people who hate that fight. They're like, it's so hard. The Biolizard, you'll run out of rings. I'm like, you just go over to the
it's really not that hard.
But if you do get low, you just gotta go. You head over to the center of the equator of the fight, and then you switch to the other character, and then you have rings again.
I didn't know that. What the hell?
Oh yeah,
you can like manually switch.
If you cross over to the other side where Sonic or Shadow is, you just switch over to them automatically.
Wow, I'm still learning.
Granted, there is
Bill likes to break games.
Well, there is a caveat where if you rush, like say, and run over there before the automatic switch, you will have less rings than you would on the automatic switch because it's implied that he didn't collect as many as he would have. But you can switch in case you do get really bad RNG with those stupid lasers sometimes.
The lasers can be frustrating.
How are those rings appearing in space, by the way?
They're chucking them out of the spaceship for them.
You think Tails is like his ring bomb in 06? Like, Sonic, take him! But those are fake rings. Those aren't real rings.
One of the
greatest... Bob's a fake ring. We're not here to talk about 06.
One of the greatest moments in this game is when there's the whole moment where they're getting to the they have to get up to the space colony arc, and they find the rocket to get there is a fucking American space shuttle in a pyramid.
In a pyramid? Yeah.
I gotta find
I love video games.
I love that the pyramids just have spaceships inside them.
Video games, man.
I need to find the exact quote because the quote is amazing for how they get up there. It's because Knuckles flies the space shuttle and it is stupid what happens.
Oh yeah, doesn't he crash it and the doors
does.
fly open? It's like, how are you not all dead?
He does. It is so dumb.
Sonic has dealt with much worse than that.
Crashes the spaceship and nearly kills them all, and then Sonic's like, that knucklehead. A silly little guy.
You knucklehead.
Yeah.
Well, because they crash and because they're like, he's like, oh no, the hatch is open. He's like, there's nothing useful in there. It's just Knuckles' Master Emerald shards. He's like, hey, give me those controls, and that's where it all starts going wrong.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, I think Shadow's a misogynist.
Maybe.
Because
state your argument.
The freaking scene. Well, he doesn't care about Rouge until he's like, I'm thinking of Maria now. Maria's also a woman. Maybe I should care about women. And then he goes and rescues Rouge. And the same thing happens again with Amy.
Yeah.
At the end, where he's like, oh, they can all die. I don't care. And then she's like, no, Shadow, you should be good. You should help people. People are good.
Yeah.
And then he thinks of Maria again. And he's like, maybe you are right of a random woman. And I'm like, you know when people use the argument like, oh, you wouldn't like it if that happened to your sister or your mum. It's like they can just be a woman who matters.
That's one of my favorite
women to Maria to think they have value.
That's one of my favorite Tails moments too, is when they try to trick Eggman with the fake Chaos Emerald, and he puts down the emerald and he sends Sonic out into space. He's like, Tails like, how did you know it was a fake emerald? He's like, because you just told me, Fox boy.
You wish you would have said like motherfucker. You just wanted him to say it.
Yeah.
I always loved Dean Bristow when he would just get really fucking dark for no reason, like like in Adventure 1, that famous like, go away before I make mincemeat out of you. Like, what a line for no reason.
And that concludes the main story of Sonic Adventure 2. God damn.
So
what a fucking journey, but we're not done with this one yet. So so Bill, tell us about the battle section, because I've never done the multiplayer in this game.
Ooh.
So you get a couple choices. You can either do head-to-head Sonic and Shadow racing stages, including double snowboard city escape, which actually lags the console. Like it lags.
Oh man.
Oh no.
I need to try that.
Also, fun fact, in the Dreamcast mode, you have to unlock pretty much all the multiplayer stuff through playing the game. In battle, it's pretty much all unlocked from the start. The other major difference is in the Dreamcast version, Big the Cat is one of the playable characters in the battle mode. In battle, they erase him and replace him with Dark Chow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Big was on the villain. Big was one of the villains. He was in the
Wait,
villains.
but who was the good Chow? Did he just beat up a Chow?
Yes.
What?
It's very random. Yeah, because there's the
Big the Cat was beating up Chow.
I understand why they got rid of Big because he made no fucking sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
They also erased Big entirely from battle. Like he's like just missing from all of the all his cameos. Because
I love his cameos.
My favorite one is during the Knuckles and Rouge cutscene after their boss fight at the end of the game, and sometimes he's just running back and forth on that pillar for no reason.
Like, where did you come from?
How did you get to space? He's looking for Froggy.
When Tails goes to break Sonic out, and you just see Big in prison.
Yeah, Big's in prison, or in
Like,
some of the shadow levels, he's just sitting on cliffs, just chilling.
And I'll just always love to see escape when Big the Cat the gun truck just swallows him up.
Yeah, the gun truck runs him over.
Just
destroyed by the truck.
I don't understand. I don't understand why they got rid of the Big cameos. Those were so charming.
Yeah, that's so good.
Again, I think it was just so many people hated him.
Yeah,
there was a lot of hate for him at the
Bad
time.
taste.
I was gonna say the Knuckles and Rouge multiplayer, which fun fact, in the multiplayer in battle, you get additional characters that aren't playable in the base game, and because I actually have the manual, I can bring it up.
Please do.
And I would love to talk about those too.
Because the choices are interesting, to say the least. So obviously we get the main heroes. For the speed characters, you get obviously Sonic and Shadow, and then you also get Amy and Metal Sonic. So you can play as Amy, and and Amy is broken as shit. So I have to bring this up because during the fights, the whole gimmick is you'll occasionally get little hazards that you can throw at the other player,
special
freeze
attacks.
or throw a tornado or this. Amy gets them every fucking 3 seconds. It is ridiculous.
You basically have to collect a certain amount of rings, and for Sonic and Shadow, they have to collect 20. I think Amy has to collect 10.
10.
So she will just spam attacks.
Yeah, and you basically can just basically permanently just nerf the other player into submission. It is so dumb.
That is amazing.
So moving on now to the mech walkers aren't super interesting. It's a Chow Walker and a Dark Chow Walker. In the Dreamcast version, it was Big the Cat as the Dark Chow Walker. I don't understand, but hey, why not?
He looked fatter there. What happened?
And then
bigger the cat.
And then my favorites, the absolute most random ones that make no sense at all, but they're funny. For the Knuckles and Rouge, you get Tikal and Chaos.
Chaos. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
Playing as Chaos.
What?
Playing as Chaos is so fucking funny because his victory animation is he's like, where the fuck am I?
That's an appropriate response.
And my favorite part is they also have attacks where you can freeze the other person or shoot them with something. Chaos doesn't have any voice lines because he doesn't speak. So all of Tikal's voice lines are just clips from Sonic Adventure 1.
They couldn't bother
Every
bringing it
single
back.
one. Yeah,
And
literally just
none of them make
Thank
sense.
you for playing. He just chopped it up.
It's so good.
Jesus. This sounds like a terrible 2-player mode that I need to play.
Oh, it's amazing if you actually have
good.
people to play. Amy's instantly banned because fuck that. But
No,
Unless
I
you-
want to be Amy.
unless you don't tell, you don't tell anybody the first time, and then you just watch their dumbfounded faces. You just wreck them.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
multiplayer, it is both the best Sonic multiplayer and the most pointless Sonic multiplayer ever.
Yeah, Sonic has not really ever landed multiplayer correctly, in my opinion.
No,
So,
it's just too hard for that style of gameplay.
yeah.
Oh, you can also race the cars. That's another multiplayer thing.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares about that?
Yeah, Sonic Drift, whatever. But speaking of landing things correctly, the Chow Garden.
The
Yoshi.
Chow
So
Garden.
it appears in Adventure 1, but it really found its footing with
Mhm.
Adventure 2. Now, I have barely ever touched the Chow Garden because I don't give a
Well, you
It's
didn't want
just-
to go.
those
in there
aren't
as
those
Eggman.
just
Ever said.
they're just not my kind of games.
I
They're just
love-
not my kind of games. That's all.
I love going in there as Eggman because you get to play as Eggman out of his walker,
Yeah.
and he can just pet a chow and be like, "Yo,
Yosh.
Yosh.
Yosh. And like in the middle bit, you like because the hub for the Chow Garden is just like a big circle. You can pick up
Yep.
mad speed as him until the point he's like sideways, just running. It's
This is
so
the
good.
for this. This was the most I ever indulged in the Chow Garden for this. You know, like figuring out like, oh, like you get the keys, and then that's like the eggs hatch, and then
Mhm.
you get those little like vials of liquid, and you use those to
Yeah.
change
Chaos.
stats, and
You pump them
Chaos
full
drives.
of steroids. Yeah.
basically, and don't worry, buddy, you know, and you go to the
Don't worry,
school and
Or-
name them and participate in
or,
races and fight
or you
and
could be an
shit. And I'm like,
absolute-
and I was playing, and I was like, I still don't give a shit about this, but I totally understand why everybody fell in love with it.
fucking
Or you
I
can be an
totally do.
absolute monster and just throw them against the wall or drown them, and like
I
people do
did
this.
that accidentally
Well,
because because petting and picking him up is like the same button, and like the context for
Yeah.
like which one it is cloudy at best, right?
Mhm.
So many times I would try to pick him up, but I would just pet him. And I would start like mashing it, and then one time I
You
did, and then
don't-
threw him, and I was like, "No, no!"
And then they start like crying and cowering. And I'm like,
Oh,
no.
And I petted him for like 3 minutes to make him feel better.
What's a really
felt so
crazy
bad.
mechanic too is if you're a hero character and you throw them against the wall, they slowly become villainous.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
about that.
Like
They
it's
start
such a
getting like devil horns and shit.
yeah, because it's
Mhm.
like super crazy. Because like it actually gets to the point if you're a villain and you start like being a villain to the chows, they become hero chows and they start running from you in terror. And it's like this is like there was some sociopaths that played the Chow Garden back in
Like,
the day.
they
Just
have
did
a
this.
Sonic
a
fans are
life
sociopaths.
cycle.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they
Sonic
have a life
fans.
cycle where they're supposed to like reincarnate, but if you treat them badly and like hit them, they just die. Don't come back.
It's so dark.
It's really dark.
But it is crazy how popular the Chow Garden became to where
Love
people are like, I only play Adventure 2 to get to the Chow Garden.
There
Right.
was a lot of people because it gets super expansive. Like there's this like hell section
Yeah.
and heaven section that you
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
do later.
yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah,
It's really good. And like you have Chow Karate and Chow
Mhm.
Racing. And, like, you
Chow
have
Racing
to
was fun.
go
That was
to,
fun. I like
to
that.
100% it. You have to do it. So
Yeah. So and people all the time clamor for Sega to bring back the Chow Garden, right? To the point where, if you think about it, you're like, why have they never bothered? Because they know it would do well.
Yeah.
People
I
love
would,
it.
I
It's
would need it
popular.
to be good though. I would need it to be like
Yeah.
like soul put into it.
Like, because let's be honest, if they did it now, it would be a
Mhm.
gotcha mobile game. That's exactly what it would be,
Yeah.
and it would make billions of dollars, and everyone would hate it while they
Yeah.
would feed money into it. I
would-
can already see it. You know,
I would be
like,
giving them the money while complaining about it.
yeah, like a Sonic fan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what Sonic fans do.
Exactly.
This sucks. Take my money. But yeah, the Chow Garden is very iconic. People love it, and it kind of caps off this big entry that is Sonic Adventure
Well,
2.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I guess to end it, we can briefly mention DX because
Yeah, D-Generation X, suck it.
I love this image of Eggman on the back. He's like sinister as fuck for no reason.
Yeah, that's the guy who's gonna make mincemeat of you.
I know.
I'm like so used to DX now because I've played the Dreamcast version, obviously, and the GameCube non-DX version, but it was so long ago now that I like can't remember the differences because I'm so used to DX now. So I'm
It's-
gonna
For
need you
adve-
guys
for
to
adve-
tell me what's different.
Yeah, for Adventure 2, I played the Xbox 360 port,
Mm-hmm.
which is I think it's just a port of the Dreamcast version, pretty much.
It's
You,
either
you
that or
can buy the
Battle.
battles. You can buy the battle stuff, but it's like a DLC,
Oh,
Yeah,
which is
interesting.
really weird. Yeah, I
They
didn't
did
buy
that-
it though.
They did that for Adventure too, where like the later ports of Adventure are clearly DX graphically, but like you have to buy the extra stuff.
Yeah, it's so
Okay.
money, right?
But
None.
the differences between Adventure and Adventure DX are actually a little interesting. They
Yeah.
retouched up everyone's models. Like all the models look way more high quality, but somehow
And way worse at the same
Yeah.
I was
time.
gonna say that's interesting considering they're not great.
I hate them in this game. I hate how they look.
like they're higher poly, but they have no textures at all, and they're all super
Oh, yeah.
shiny, and they don't fit the rest of the game.
It takes away all the character that the original
That's
models
true.
have.
Also,
you know?
they didn't update Big or Gamma because why bother?
I mean, you can't beat perfection.
That's
or
true.
or Eggman.
That's true.
Another difference is they a lot of the textures throughout the game are different, which I found out is apparently a technical thing where when they were porting it to GameCube, they thought because of the mini discs there would be less space. But in reality, mini discs actually have more space than a GD-ROM.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So that's why a lot of the color, like one of the notable ones is the Station Square trolley is blue, I believe, in the main in Adventure, but in a DX it's red because that texture is just gone, so they had to use another one.
Oh.
Oh, Sega.
Also,
you can tell they were in the shits in the early 2000s.
Also, because of a lot of the changes to the graphics, this is where a lot of the glitches that become more prevalent in each port show up. Like,
Yeah.
Sonic can clip through very specific points in the levels, which certain Let's Players like to exploit to make the game look worse than it is. Just gonna say. Anyways,
Game Grumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite of all time is there's a cutscene where Sonic is right before you go into Twinkle Park and Eggman, I'm not Eggman, and to follow Amy. There's a point in the original game where he walks in. Because of his new model, they didn't properly rig it, so he just slides across the ground at one point.
Yeah. I remember that.
There's an infamous scene where after Big gets Froggy back finally for the final time, and he's like kind of like holding him back and forth like this. They've somehow messed up the frame rates between Froggy and Big. So Froggy will
independently.
Yeah, Froggy will be over here and Big's hands will be over here, and they're like doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's like how.
It's kind of symbolic of their relationship if you think about it.
And then some actually good additions. They added little Cream the Rabbit cameos throughout the game, which are kind of fun.
Cream. Love Cream. I miss Cream the Rabbit. What happened to her?
Seeing her cameos in the DX port to Steam, she glitches the fuck out. She looks like a lightning bolt. She comes on the screen and she's just stretched across the whole screen. It's like, what is that?
But I miss Cream. Whatever happened to her?
This franchise became anti-friends for a while, and not all of them have come back yet.
I
start going to school.
I've always had this theory that they took Cream's personality and put it into Amy. Because Amy was always kind of a bit of a prick, right? But Cream was always like the super sweet, happy, love, like her story arc in the Advanced trilogy or the Advanced like 2 and 3 is beautiful, and it's like, oh, she's such like a sweet, caring individual. But then Cream disappeared, and then Amy started becoming. They brought her back more and more, and they gave her the sweet personality, especially in Superstars. So I'm like, they just made Amy Cream and just got rid of Cream. Probably because they were like, do we need another Tails character? And I'm like, yeah, but she has a chow named Cheese. He's a fucking beast. He's great.
I think a lot of it too was like, especially during the 4Kids era, her voice was the most grating thing in existence.
I'll never forget that voice.
The
Cream
4Kids
is
era.
fucking hench because she can carry Amy and Big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's great.
She's
like Cream's one of my favorite Sonic characters.
She is downright essential in fucking Chronicles because she is the healer. And if you get the right Chow combo, she breaks that game in fucking half, and it's
And as we all know,
amazing.
Chronicles is a really good game.
It's I don't have enough time to get
Fuck
into Chronicles.
Mass Effect.
I unironically love Chronicles.
I love what Chronicles
Play
could have
Mass
been.
Effect, and maybe you'll have a different.
Chronicles I want to talk about at some point because I love what that
Yeah,
game could have been.
yeah. I need to sit down and play that game.
But God, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, because Amy, yeah, you're right about Amy. They really kind of lost the plot on her. I mean, I think the best Amy of all time is Boom Amy because they just made her like a girl boss for no reason.
Yeah, I like Amy.
Again, that like fits her character.
Yeah, she needs to
You
be
know,
sassy.
Yeah, like she's sassy, and when like say Sonic Superstar, she's not sassy at all, and I'm like, this is wrong, you know. And I'm hoping in the next Sonic movie, because they're bringing Amy in, that they give her that sort of like sassy character.
The one thing,
and I detect hints that her character is going to have some resemblance to, it was the Sonic Sat AM show.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, if they want to be really good, they should just make her Fleetway Amy. That's like the best Amy.
Oh, Fleetway Amy like has no time for bullshit. I don't think she even likes Sonic. She just bullies him.
I think in the continuation comic, she actually gets in a relationship with her friend, the girl character she was always with, which was really nice.
Oh, that's
cute.
I like that. Techno the Canary.
Yeah, I love that she wields a fucking crossbow too,
Yeah,
which is just so fucking great.
Fleetway.
That's sick.
Yeah, I love that Amy.
But yeah, that wraps up Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. We're not going to talk about Sonic Adventure 3 because it technically exists, but I guess before we end, not that long ago, Takashi Iizuka was asked about remaking Adventure 1 and 2. And what he had said was, he said he's liked the idea and has humored the idea, but he said, you know, with the amount of work we'd have to go into remaking those games properly, we could just spend that time making a new game, and he would rather just make a new game.
Okay,
and I think that's the correct move to do because, as we've mentioned with Adventure 1 and 2, they haven't aged the best, and modern remakes, especially of Adventure 1, I think would be a very fascinating moment in the history of Sonic to see like Adventure 1 get redone, you know? But me and Bill have talked about this before, and I think both of these remakes would be so scrutinized and criticized to death, even if they were good, that it almost negates doing them in the first place.
Yeah, I think I would literally rather just not have them, leave them as they are.
Yeah. Like even if they kept the games the exact same, but just made them look better, like gave modern HD visuals, people would still bitch.
They find these are Sonic fans. They would find something to complain about because Sonic fans. The biggest key thing with Sonic fans is they have no idea what they want.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the problem.
That's true. But he's never ruled out a proper Sonic Adventure 3,
even though it already.
And I know, but like, you know what I mean. The idea of them, like, would they ever return to Sonic Adventure? I don't think they ever would, because I think Sonic Adventure is more than just like the name. You know, it represents this specific time in Sonic history. It represents a specific style of Sonic 3D gameplay that they've moved on from, right? Yeah. Like playing these games, it made me realize I'm a boost era boy. Okay. I am a basic bitch. Give me a boost button to just whoosh and zip, and I'm a happy guy. You know, I mean, Colors and Generations is, and even Unleashed at the day stages is that sweet spot in 3D Sonic for me. I know you hate Boost because, like, to me, the best 3D Sonic ever is the day stages and Unleashed. They are incredible.
I think
I love them to death.
Sonic game as just a game overall is still Colors. I really liked Colors at the
time.
I
think Colors is great. I do like replaying it. I'm like, yeah, I love this game. It's too much 2D for my taste.
It is,
but I think it's like introducing the Wisps. I think is a really cool new thing that I wish they would do more with. You know, like I like that whole concept, and it's a shame they never did like a proper Colors 2. You know, like a more 3D Colorsy kind of a thing. You know, and then of course we got Generations, which I think for most Sonic fans, it is considered. yeah, like one of the best games in the in the series, because it really feels like the proper way to celebrate Sonic while also making a really solid game out of it. You know,
It's really
but you have to like the Boost era to like it.
It's really ironic that games like Lost World and like Forces to a degree hug nostalgia way more than Generations ever did.
I need to play Lost World properly. I bought it on Steam on a whim not that long ago to see if it would even run, and it runs just fine. I played like the first 2 levels, and I was like, I'm not sure. I need to sit down and play it properly because I feel like I needed to know. But like Forces, I want to replay in just like 100% Forces just to get out of the way, because I beat that game in one day. Like I bought it in like the morning, and then I beat it by the time I went to bed, because I was like, I just want to get this game done with. And
the only reason I took longer in that game than I should have is because I spent way too much time customizing my character.
Oh my god, yeah,
that's such a you thing, yeah. And I think they messed up the character creation in that, but that's another story. But like Forces is kind of, to me, Forces is everything that's bad about the Boost era.
It is
like it's all the bad stuff that the Boost era has, which I know it's not perfect. It has its flaws, but
Forces is literally the definition of the most middle of the road Sonic game I think ever.
Yeah, and then when they pivoted to make Frontiers, I think that was the right move. And and again, it's not a perfect game. It has some problems, but from what I've heard through the grapevine, they are working on Frontiers 2 proper. So who knows? Maybe maybe by this time next year we'll see Frontiers 2 properly. It's been enough years to where I think they could show us something.
They're taking their time. Hallelujah.
That's the best thing about all this new Sonic stuff, is that they are taking their time.
Yeah.
They're letting it cook so that when we get the finished product, it feels right. You know what I mean? Exactly. But Jelly, give us your hate on the Boost era. Go.
Oh, I hate it so much. It's like, I just let me run and go fast. I don't need a button to go fast. Like in 1 and 2, you know, if you play well, you gain momentum. If you play badly, you lose momentum. I want to earn my speed. You know what I mean? I know.
That's
So
fair.
when I first played the Boost games, I was just like, not for me. Don't like it. Although that said, I've never played Colors, so maybe I should give it a go.
Ironically, Colors is the least boosty of the Boost era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you'd like Colors.
I
Genuinely,
need to try Colors. I played Unleashed. I did not like it.
Unleashed
Generations,
is a weird beast. I understand.
Yeah, and you know, I showed you my tier list, and I put Generations in what, C tier.
Yeah, that is a controversial take. Absolutely.
Not as bad as that one tier list we looked at, though. That had Forces at the bottom in its own tier, and I was like, okay, buddy.
Like, Forces is not the worst Sonic game. Not
Forces is fine. It's serviceable.
And they had 06 and C.
Okay. They had 06 above Heroes.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, I need to replay Heroes. It's been a very long time, but I cannot think that game is as bad as 06.
There's a lot of problems with Heroes, but it's like really fun to play, which is the main thing.
Yeah, it has a couple fatal flaws from what I remember.
It's ironically, Heroes is ironically the most consistent Sonic game, though, just in terms of gameplay.
In some ways, yeah. Yeah.
Because there's literally one gameplay style, and it's the trio.
Well, they have 3 styles. They just shove them together in one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the craziness of the Sonic series, and I think it is kind of culminated in the 2 adventure games, which are, you know, very fierce talking points in this series, for better or for worse, you know. And as somebody whose favorite 2D Sonic game is Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and whose favorite 3D Sonic game is probably Sonic Generations, these games represent a weird middle ground where it does a little bit of both, you know. And I've gained a newfound respect for these, particularly for Adventure 2 and some of the quirkier bits that I've always not really cared for.
I will say, when I replayed both of these for this episode, there was never a point where I was bored. Like, there was never a point where I was just wanting it to be over. I had a great time all the way through.
Very rarely I've been bored playing a Sonic game. Even if I'm replaying Sonic 2 for the millionth time, I'm always engaged, man. Just because I know that game and I love it to death. But I think that's going to do it for us. It's been almost 3 and a goddamn half hours talking about Sonic. So I think we'll call it. So if you made it to the end of the episode, good job. Here's your own emblem. Here you go. Good job. So we want to thank good old Super Jelly for choosing to make their podcast debut on this bullshit. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. And then in the future, if we do more Sonic games, you're welcome to come on.
I would love to.
I'm gonna make you replay Generations.
Especially if we talk about Shadow's game.
Oh, I would love to do a Shadow episode because I could literally probably go 4 hours talking about that game.
Let's do it.
Oh boy, but we'll deal with that in the future. But yes, if you want to check out Jelly, her Etsy and Twitch will be in the description of the video and the audio version. So check it out. Buy some product from her, okay? Don't bitch at her about shit. Buy it and just enjoy it, okay?
I have a Chow Garden cross stitch pattern.
There you go.
Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, go check all that stuff out. Make sure you check out the 3DO Experience if you don't already. It's a great podcast. And also check out my show, Thrak Ops. At the time of this recording, episode 2 is out. I am working on episode 3, so stay tuned. Bill, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, at the time this comes out, I believe, I don't know where we're so far ahead in GNC right now. I think we're going to be talking about the Dale Earnhardt documentary next week. Geek Addicts, I think we're talking about Sky High. So enjoy those wonderful look backs at nostalgic things from our past. You can check out GNC to hear me and my sister talk about nonsense, and then if you want to hear Geek Addicts, you can listen to me and my buddy Matt talk about nostalgic stuff from back in the day. And be sure to check out everyone over on the SuperPod Network.
Yes. Oh, do you have anything you wanted to plug, Jelly, that I didn't mention?
No, pretty much just my Twitch and my Etsy. I'm happy with that. Yeah, thank you.
So I guess until next time, where we talk about who knows what. This has been another episode of 3DOn't. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?